We're underway as Harborough choose to go immediately back to goalkeeper Elliot Taylor, who chooses to go long, and it's Freddie Robinson bouncing up for the header. He's not won it. Riley O'Sullivan thought he had, but the referee decides it's a free kick, and immediately Tonbridge, seeing the threat that Harborough are going to pose, as the two sets of players came out, the stark difference in physicality and height was pretty clear to see. As we say hello to my co-commentator Andy Sparrow. Good afternoon,
Jack. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here again and on BBC Radio Leicester. Yeah, I think that literally the first attack there, long, direct and physical, which is again pre-game. You've said the difference in height between these players, and it was very evident there. As I say, Harborough going to try and use that advantage, and again just receiving a free kick there after a foul on Freddie Robinson. Yeah,
this time it's Harborough that win the free kick, sort of 10-15 yards into their own half, out on that right hand side, and it's Elliot Taylor, goalkeeper, who will come out to take it. And once again, I mean, what you can see straight away is it's a free kick from inside their own half, and they've sent, what, two of their back three up there, Andy?
Yeah, it looks like Mozza and Paul Malone have gone up front, so this is going to go long and direct. Let's have a look at it.
Taylor does it. It's flat. It gets on the head. It's headed away, actually, by the Tonbridge man. It's an aimless clearance that Ben Williams heads towards the Tonbridge goal. Freddie Robinson looking to get on the end of it, but it goes through to the Tonbridge defence, and they'll look to come forward through Lima, the right wing back. He then down the line to Jason Adigan. He's got Ben Starkey for company. Black cast on his arm as Josh Walsh comes over and makes the tackle. He appeals for the throw in, but it's given to the Angels down right hand side, right in front of us here, level with the edge of the penalty area. And will Tonbridge have an opportunity to go for a long throw themselves?
Thankfully Tom Tonks from Tamworth isn't on a dual registration here, Jack, from last night.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it last night against Huddersfield. Go and check out the goal. Throwing you haven't seen the like since Roy Delap. Hanson with the long throw into the Harborough area. It's nodded on, I think, from a Harborough head and out towards this corner. Hanson will get on it once again. Number 4 on his back. Goes back to Fielding, centre back. Looks to go for the cross, but it's blocked by Starkey, who looks to get away here. Does he? No. And the referee is given a free kick, and it's an early yellow card here for Connor Kennedy in the middle of the park for Harborough Town. It looked like the ball was there for the taking, but he was late, that's for sure, and the referee decides to go to his book early on. We're just 2 minutes in, and Connor Kennedy already with the yellow card for Harborough Town, 0-0.
Connor Kennedy there, I think, just trying to put himself back early, probably just a touch late with it. Look, Connor likes to tackle, we know that. I think if the goal gives we've got on the Harborough Town Twitter account, Connor's is actually him giving himself a red card, so gives you an idea of the type of player that Connor is. But look, physical early on, trying to put the marker down. Just a quick note before this free kick. It looks like it looks like Ben Stevens is playing up front, and actually Ben Starkey is sitting in the middle. So just a slight change from what we thought would be pre-game.
This free kick is right hand side. It's going to be whipped into the Harborough area. One arm in the air, it is whipped out swinger, and it's headed away by Paul Malone, and the referee gives a free kick. Saw an infringement in the penalty area, in Harborough defending well. 3 minutes on the clock, 0-0.
Surprising there, Jack, as I say, that the height difference is huge, and to whip a ball in there, looking for the best header in that ball, maybe trying to do something a bit more clever on the edge of the box, maybe some short whip a low ball in. But if they are going to try and play sort of high balls in all day at the Harborough defence, then as I say, it's going to be a very difficult task for them, because you've got the height of Morris, Malone, and then Ben Williams, who again isn't short himself but great in the air. So maybe a tactic they might want to switch up as the game goes on.
Yeah, you look at size. Cooper often a centre half, playing right wing back for Harborough as well. Freddie Robinson, big lad as well, in the centre of the park, as Harborough look to go over the top down the right hand side. Riley O'Sullivan chases. Does he stop it going out for a goal kick? Yes, he does, and in fact he's won his side a throw in there in a decent position, but there's a man down for Tonbridge Angels here. Where we are positioned here, we are sort of right towards the one of the corners, so anything in that far corner, I don't know how good your eyesight is, Andy Sparrow, but I'm wearing glasses and may struggle to see at times which player's which. Can't quite see who the Tonbridge man is down. He's back up either way who it is. In fact, it was Taylor Maloney, centre midfield for Tonbridge, and they get back into position now, and Harborough are going to go for the long throw here down the right wing.
Dan Cooper with this one.
Dan Cooper, right wing back for Harborough this afternoon. He goes for the long throw. Freddie Robinson's there, so's Morris. It's headed away though by Tonbridge Angels, and they'll look to clear and potentially create an attack on the break here. They go long, and it's Riley O'Sullivan back doing his defensive duties, goes back to Elliot Taylor in the goal, and he opts just to play it safe, get it clear, and it goes out for a Tonbridge throw in halfway line, 0-0.
That is the danger, as I say. We like to push those men forward, and I think we've discussed pre-game with some of the guys here at Tonbridge. They are very quick. They're a very sort of young, very quick and agile side. So on that break, it will be dangerous for Harborough. But Riley O'Sullivan tracking back really well there, calmly back to Elliot Taylor, and just clears into touch there, just take the pressure off. And we've got the long throw options there, Jack. I think we've said it. You've got Dan Cooper and Connor Kennedy have both got a long throw on them. So it'll be as the game goes on. It will definitely be used to bring into the game. Dan Cooper's quite a long flat throw, so different, and Connor's a bit more loop. So let's see how we continue to use that as the game goes on.
Tonbridge with possession just inside the Harborough half, out for another throw-in on the left-hand side, won by Jason Adigan. He chooses to take it and goes back to the Tonbridge back line, and they'll look to play it amongst themselves and create from the back. It's Nazir Bakran, right side of that back three today, cuts inside, and he's got Ben Stevens for company. Just a casual press, I think you could call it, as Tonbridge choose to go long. It's Paul Malone, though, heads it down well, and Harborough, well, I was going to say swarm the Tonbridge attackers. It wasn't an intended pun, but I'll take that.
Anyone who's playing word bingo this afternoon for Harborough puns, there's one off your list.
Alex Morris goes long for Harborough, as Tonbridge able to just bring that down nice and calmly. There is a pressure from Harborough's. Once again, Josh Walsh looks to go long. Riley O'Sullivan looking to chase, and it's headed back towards Ben Stevens. He goes inside to Connor Kennedy. Will he find Cooper down the right-hand side? He looks for him. Is it too long? No, Cooper does get on the end of it. Cuts inside really well. Comes into the box now, right-hand side. It's towards Riley O'Sullivan, but it's defended well by Tonbridge. Intercepted at the last moment, just as Riley O'Sullivan looked to pull the trigger, and Tonbridge defend well to prevent Harborough from having the first real opportunity of the game. It remains 0-0, 6.5 minutes on the clock as Paul Malone goes down under pressure. Referee says no free kick, and Tonbridge now have it just inside their own half. Crossley Lima, the right wing back, crosses the halfway line. He comes now into the Harborough half, just down in front of us on the right wing. Back to Bakran, and Tonbridge will look to calm things down a little bit, play a few passes amongst themselves along that back line. Bakran, Ronnie Nelson and Jamie Field in the back three for Tonbridge Angels, as they then choose to go long. Josh Walsh does really well, though, gets in, heads it down to Alex Morris, and the big man at the back for Harborough then choose to go long towards Riley O'Sullivan. He chases well, gets on the end of it. Is he pulled back? No, says the referee. Looked like he had a couple of tugs there. Ben Starkey, though, gets it, cuts inside. Stevens, lovely 1-2 between him and Starkey, but the defender does well to get in and intercept. It's Harborough with the ball at the moment. 7.5 minutes played. 0-0 at the Longmead Stadium. Tonbridge Angels against Harborough Town in the FA Cup. Live on BBC Radio Leicester. Paul Malone switches it towards Cooper, but his touch is poor and it goes out for a Tonbridge throw in their own half. 0-0.
Going back to that chance for Dan Cooper, no one's going to describe him as a nippy win-back, Jack. He's a really good, solid player. Just ran out of legs at the end, and the pass just coming into the middle just did lack the power, and they managed to clear it out. It's quite encouraging from Harborough. Riley Sullivan really strong up front, able to sort of dominate that defender, and there's a lot of space in between the midfield and the attack where sort of Ben Starkey and Ben Stevens are running into. So it's good to see us use that space, and as I say, a couple of better aim passes, and we're going to be, as I say, hopefully testing the defence.
Yeah, 34 years of age, Dan Cooper. You'd say he's normally a right back that had been playing as part of a back three, but as Andy says, not your conventional right wing back, but doing a job so far today. Commercial finance broker in the week. If
you go back through his highlights, Jack, his direct claim to fame is a couple of sort of 25-yard screamers back at step 5, taking the ball from the halfway line and sort of top corners. So I'll tell you what, I'll give anything for one of those today.
Tonbridge with the ball, they go long towards Noel Leighton, leading the line for Tonbridge, but it's too much on it and goes through to Elliot Taylor in the Harborough goal. There's a fair few Tonbridge fans behind that goal making noise with the drum. You said, Andy, that you imagine Elliot Taylor will relish the opportunity to have a bit of back and forth with the Tonbridge fans.
Elliot loves a bit of motivation, inspiration, and I think even the warm-up he was getting a warm applause. He was getting a bit of encouragement there, but you know, Elliot thrives off that. He's probably one of the quietest people off the pitch when you're quite off the pitch. Sorry, just watching what's going on. The Harborough player down, Ben Stevens there.
Yeah, Ben Stevens taking a knock. The decision given was offside as the ball came over from Elliot Taylor, but Stevens going down under a bit of pressure. He's back up now, and Tonbridge will take the free kick just towards their own goal inside the centre circle, and they do get play underway now through Backroom, right side of the back three for Tonbridge today. He finds Lima, the right wing back, chooses to go down the line, but good interception from Josh Walsh, and Tonbridge now will look to start again from the throw-in, 15 or 20 yards or so into the Harborough half, and he does go inside to Leighton, holds the ball up well, and then goes back to midfield and then back to the defence, and Tonbridge will look to start again down the left hand side. Vincent, he is a danger man, top scorer. Here's Liam Vincent for Tonbridge this season, despite playing at left wing back, but Harborough do well, win the ball back and look to create an attack through themselves. Riley O'Sullivan now over the halfway line, he's tackled though, and again Tonbridge will take up possession and try and calm things down just a little bit. Over the 10-minute mark, it remains 0-0 as Leighton breaks the offside trap. No, he doesn't. The linesman just down in front of us. I think he could hear the Harborough directors just behind us screaming for offside there. He did give the decision. It looked like Leighton may have broke the offside trap there, and fortunately for the Harborough Town defence, the flag goes up and it remains 0-0.
I was slightly worried there. He was slightly behind play, Jack, so luckily he sort of came in line, but he was good sort of 2 or 3 yards off there. Just you mentioned about the casual press through Ben Stevens, something in the last couple of away games we've had, and something to watch out. He's brilliant at tracking back. He'll kind of pick his moments well about using his energy, pick the pocket, and we've scored a couple of goals on the break that way. So as I say, he may not be pressing the whole time, but when he does, he tries to make it effective.
Ben Stevens, of course, the hero in the last round, as Starkey looks to put a bit of pressure on Backer and heading back to his keeper, but does go back to Matthew Rowley, who's on loan from Reading, brought in after Tonbridge's regular keeper for the season was recalled by Portsmouth. Just his second appearance for the Angels today, as Fielding looks to switch the play, but it's headed away well by Josh Walsh, brought down by Ben Stevens, but the pass from Freddie Robinson is loose, and Tonbridge will pick up possession once again through centre-back Ronnie Nelson in their own half to the left-hand side. It's Liam Vincent now, cuts inside, left foot, white boots. He goes back to Ryan Hansen in the middle of the park for Tonbridge, and once again we're seeing Tonbridge happy to play it amongst themselves, be patient with the ball and take the sting out of any Harborough attacks that look like they might be coming. It remains 0-0.
There's your second bingo word, sting. Congratulations, Jack.
I'm not even meaning to.
You're doing well. You're doing well. And you haven't used the word buzz yet, which is done really well. So it's a good opening. I think good opening from both sides here. I think it's just a slip on the ball there, and they recover well.
Yeah.
It's been a good opening. I think Harborough, Mitchell will be happy with this. We'll be 10, 12 minutes in, no real attacks, and some good time on the ball as well.
Lima up well to win the header against Josh Walsh, right hand side, halfway into the Harborough half. Green boots comes back out wide. It's number 27 Adigran now, looks to go around, couple of step overs. Josh Walsh tackles well though. Adigran wins it back though, down the line to the byline. Can he get a cross in? Yes, but it's blocked well by Josh Walsh, and out for a corner, the first of the game for Tonbridge Angels. 0-0.
Josh recovered there, just was beaten, real physical play by the Tonbridge player there. Walsh, he recovered, managed to get back, good tackle first off. Adigan regains the ball and then gets himself in the right place to block the cross, but let's see how Harborough can defend this first corner of the game.
You look at the physicality of both sides, and Harborough have plenty of size. Couple of big lads for Tonbridge up for the corner from the back though, and it's going to be taken out swinger, and it's Sean Seals flat towards the back post. It's headed away really well by Paul Malone. Big pressure on Alex Morris at the back post. The referee doesn't see a foul in there, and Tonbridge will have another opportunity from the opposite side, the left wing now, but in the form of a long throw. You think he's going to come in from Liam Vincent.
Using Morris as a bit of a climbing frame there, Jack, if you ask me, but he's got to go out for a long throw.
It is Vincent who is gone over to throw it in towards the Harborough box, but it's headed away well by Ben Williams and then cleared again by Ben Stevens. Riley O'Sullivan goes down under pressure from Lima, but the referee says no foul, and Tonbridge will start again. It's over on that far side. Sean Shields with possession of the ball. He goes past the defender. I think Cooper
Kennedy there, I think, and I'm surprised there. It was on a yellow quite early, and as I say, a good tackle, but a second later, and it's dangerous territory, that is.
Does it concern you, that early yellow card?
Yeah, it really does. Of anyone on the pitch, and I say Connor's a superb player, but of anyone on the pitch, he, as I say, hopefully he just can maintain it and keep going. But I mean, he makes those high attack. That's his game. So naturally, that's what he does. So when he stops doing that, obviously he's going to start playing in a different way. But it's a corner coming in here, second of the game.
In swinger, Sean Shields will take it. Captain's armband goes short towards Adigun. Goes back to Shields, whips it over towards the far post, but it's collected well by Elliot Taylor. Comfortable in the end for the Harborough keeper. It was a nice little move from the corner from Tonbridge, but no threat in the box, and it remains after 15 minutes 0-0.
Elliot under control there, nice and calm, and just gives us a chance to get the ball back. This last couple of minutes, Tonbridge really playing the ball around well. Harbour happy to sit back, no pressing, and they're just managing to put some sustained pressure on the V. So look, let's see if we can get a chance going long. And well, it seems that's what we're going to be doing by the way we've started. But we just need to probably get hold of a bit more, try and get it down, and play a little bit more of our game as opposed to just going long the whole time.
Attempted long ball once again is chased by the Harborough captain Ben Williams, but it goes out for a throw into the Bees right hand side, about halfway into their own half, that Dan Cooper will come over and taking his time with this one. The referee just pushing him back a few yards across in front of the longest stand here at the Longmead Stadium on that far side. It's a great little setup here. I love coming to grounds like this. Proper football ground this. You've got a little stand at either end. Nice long one on that far side, and then plenty of supporters down just in front of us in standing positions. It's a record attendance here at the Longmead Stadium today. We think it's around 2,800, 2,900 either way. And in fact, I'm being told it's even broke that, 3,132, which is a stadium record by a significant margin, I think.
I think it's full the whole way around. You can't stack 2 or 3 deep on the standing parts, and every single stand is full. What a great FA Cup. This is the magic of the cup, what you say. Great friendly club, brilliant stadium, and packed to the rafters for this game. Yeah,
3,200 I think we were told can just about squeeze in here. Plenty of fans come down from Harborough making the trip. Plenty of buses leaving the Harborough Community Stadium this morning, making that what can be a very dodgy trip down the M1 and around the M25. We got pretty lucky this morning, although I think I was a little bit safe with my timings. We were here about 3 hours before we were due on air as Tonbridge looked to come forward down the left-hand side. It's Liam Vincent, the danger man for them, top scorer for Angels this season, despite being a left wing back, but he's played it back to Sean Shields, cuts back, right foot, calls a interesting cross into the box, but Elliot Taylor able to collect it comfortably once again. It was Crossley Lima, the man, getting into position, and from the opening 17 minutes or so, Andy, you can see why, despite being listed as right wing back and left wing back, you can see why Liam Vincent and Crossley Lima are the danger men for Tonbridge Angels. Yeah,
they're playing the ball wide. There's not a lot going through the centre. They're trying to use those wing backs, and again, both of them are quite physical as well. So as I say, they're not your archetypal sort of quick, quite nimble. They're quite aggressive. So look, they're playing a nice game against both Josh and against Walshy and Coops, and there's some crosses coming in. Probably just a bit more accuracy on those crosses. Not really testing Elliot or the defence. So again, as they go through the game, will they carry on doing that? We'll see. I think the ball is just coming over the halfway.
Yeah, it was a free kick given away by Riley O'Sullivan just inside the Tonbridge half, and they've done as they've been doing throughout the game, starting to play it amongst themselves, among the back and defensive midfielders, but coming forward now through Digran. He's played it down the right hand side to Crossley Lima, right in the corner. He gets on the end of it, but the linesman puts up his flag, and as you can probably hear, a number of Tonbridge fans and associates unhappy with that decision. We were very in line with it, and I have to say, Andy, I didn't think it was offside.
No, neither did I. But with even as much as of a yellow tinge that I might have sitting here this afternoon, Jack, I thought he was on, so it's slightly unfair on the home side. But I think Josh Wall should be glad for that, because he was in behind, and there was players coming into the box. So it could have been dangerous, but luckily it's going to be Elliot Taylor with a chance to clear this.
Yeah, Crossley Lima, Sutton Youth, former Margate, Carshalton Athletic and Welling United joined this summer. He's played 14 times for the Angels this season. As I mentioned, Liam Vincent, 7 goals for him from left wing back this season, the top scorer. You're listening to live FA Cup first round action, BBC Radio Leicester Sport. We're on DAB, BBC Sounds and the BBC Sport website and app. If you're looking for Leicester City against Ipswich, you need 104.9 FM, and of course you can keep up to date with both games across our Twitter feeds at BBC RL Sport, as Harborough have themselves a throw in a Decent position down the left-hand side, and it goes long into the box. Morris is towards it, so is Williams and Robinson, but it's headed away. Starkey picks it up though, cuts in. Is he going to have an effort here? He does, he kills it, but it's blocked. That was a speculative effort from the Tanzania international Ben Starkey, and Tonbridge able to come away with it through Adigan. He takes the throw in quickly back to Lima. 1-2 between him and the winger Adigan. He now goes down the right wing under pressure from Kennedy. He's cut inside. Adigan, really nice play, tackled well though by Paul Malone. He cuts in, Robinson comes in to help him, and Harborough can now get it away, going long towards Riley O'Sullivan over the halfway line, but the Tonbridge defender Nelson gets in, clears it out for a throw in. 0-0.
I think you saw there, Jack, I said about Conor Kennedy there coming back. Had he not been on the yellow, that tackle was going in just near us. Again, luckily it didn't go in there, and as I say, luckily Paul Malone managed to get the tackle in after the run inside. So, as I say, clear head, calm head from Conor Kennedy, and lucky for the Bees, we take possession of the ball just over halfway. Probably too long for a long throw in this time.
Yeah, just 5 yards or so into the Tonbridge half, and Starkey comes away with it. Must be a foul there. The referee has given a throw in the other way. Or has he in fact given a free kick for a dive?
I think so, yeah. I think his simulation, I think, is his interpretation of that.
Well, it is the complete opposite side of the pitch. Oh no, it was given as a throw-in, so the referee just deciding wasn't worthy of a free kick for simulation, but also not deemed as a foul. It looked like there was contact from over this side of the pitch, but the referee in a much closer position now as Tonbridge looks to come forward. Adigan, right hand side, just inside, looks to curl a ball in, but it's blocked well by the big frame of Alex Morris at the back. But back out now, Adigan once again, right hand side, corner of the box, couple of step overs, cuts in, cuts back onto his left foot, looks to go inside. It's picked up by Shields as Freddie Robinson can't collect. Now Lima, right hand side, green boots, goes back to the midfielder Hansen. He then cuts inside. It's played nicely through to Sean Shields. See, that one did look offside to me, but the referee, the linesman, not giving it, and in the end it was a tame shot from the edge of the box from Sean Shields, and Taylor in the Harborough goal once again able to collect. 21.5 minutes gone. It remains Tonbridge Angels 0, Harborough Town 0.
I think Mitch will still be happy with this. They're playing the ball in front of the back four. They're not the back five, so they're not really penetrating. They're not really having clear-cut chances on it. So while it remains like that, I think Harborough, we have to let them have the ball there and keep playing there, and then keep looking. I think we'll be looking on the break in this. You're kind of seeing a very similar game to what Tamworth was last night. As I say, Huddersfield, all the ball, all the possession, and then Harborough looking for those chances on the break, which, if it works, that's the way we're going to play it. And this is going to be a long throw into the box now.
It is going to be a long throw. It's only about 15 yards or so into the Tonbridge half, but actually, having sent the big men up, they choose to go down the wing to Starkey. Cuts back, gives it to Kennedy, cutting inside. Left foot, will he have an effort? He does. It's blocked though, and Starkey able to pick it up and plays it to the left hand side to Walsh. Not the most conventional pass you've ever seen to your left back, but he picks it up well, and he then goes down the line towards O'Sullivan, who picks it up well in the box. Good hold up play from the centre forward for Harborough Town. Back to Walsh, goes down the line, crosses it low, left foot. It falls to Ben Stevens. Can he have a go on the turn? He cuts back, left foot, right foot, goes for the low effort, and it's taken a deflection just past the goal of Matthew Rowley for Tonbridge Angels. It was one of those slightly strange ones that was crawling towards the goal and just crept past the post. 0-0.
Made by Riley O'Sullivan there. Great hold up play, great strength, holding that defender off, managed to turn him, get round, ball comes in, and how it found its way to Ben Stevens, I've got no idea in the end. But as I say, that shot just squibbed past the post, but the Harborough fans behind that goal thought that was in. You saw them going up there, but it's going to be a corner, and can we make this pressure pay?
Josh Walsh over to take it, right-footed, flat, and it's headed away by the man at the front post. Morris heads it back into a danger zone there, comes back out to Morris. He looked to get a foot in, but it's cleared well, and Cooper will be the man to retrieve possession. Under pressure from Shields from Tonbridge Angels, and as Alex Morris came back in looking to take possession, the referee decides he's done that illegally and gives a free kick to Tonbridge just inside their own half. 24 minutes on the clock, 0-0.
Clever there, I think. Had he not done that, I think they would have broken with a 3-on-3. So intelligent play there, just to take the foul and allow everyone to regroup and come back. But good to see Harborough with the first shot and goal there, and see those fans sparking to life at the side. They've been a little bit quiet, but as this game goes on, I think we'll continue to grow into this, and a better last 5 minutes from the Bees.
Yeah, Ben Stevens, of course, the hero of the fourth qualifying round, scoring from the penalty spot against Bury. How he'd love to get himself another winner today with the TV cameras here. featuring on the highlights show tomorrow evening on the BBC as Tonbridge look to play a ball over the top, but it's not reached by Noel Layton. It goes out for a Harborough throw-in, right back position that Dan Cooper will saunter over to come and take, give himself a bit of extra time to get his breath back, and it remains 0-0 as we approach the 25-minute mark. Listening to BBC Radio Leicester Sport live from the Longmead Stadium. Tonbridge Angels against Harborough Town in the FA Cup first round. Harborough Town's first ever appearance at this stage of the competition, the biggest day in this club's history. How they'd love to add some more winning memories and make it into the second round. Tonbridge in their way though. Brilliant interception from Josh Walsh down the left hand side. He plays it down the line towards Riley O'Sullivan. He's got company from Jamie Fielding though, who comes across well to intercept, and it's down right in possibly the worst corner for us to be able to see, but
gonna be a corner.
They've won themselves a corner well there.
Should we just make it what happened in that corner? We'll say it was a great tackle in skirt. We are literally blind down that left hand side of the pitch.
So we are very much in the left back position if we're looking at where Harborough were playing. That was right in the corner of their left wing position. I know Riley O'Sullivan chased the ball, and I know it ended with a corner to Harborough Town, so I'm going to give the credit to Riley O'Sullivan there, the number 9 for Harborough this afternoon, as Josh Walsh whips it in swinger. It's collected well though by Rowley in the Tonbridge Angels goal, and they'll look to break forward here. Sean Shields on the counter attack. 2-on-2 as Andy Sparrow says. He cuts in well, and you see a swarm of bees heading back to get into position. A blanket of yellow shirts all back into position, and did really well to not only get back in position but to keep the offside trap well. Now, offside was given. A yellow card has been given against a Tonbridge player, I assume for dissent about the offside decision.
27, I think. I can't see the name.
Jason Adigan, the right winger.
I think you're right, Jack. I think it was what was said afterwards. It was off. That one was offside. I think the home fans didn't like it, but I think it was just after then. Adigan's had a word in the referee's ear, and look, these refs will be very experienced at this level. We'll take none of that. So straight to the yellow. That's the first yellow of the afternoon for Tonbridge.
Alan Dale, the referee, this afternoon, as Harborough go long again through Elliot Taylor. It drops to the feet of Freddie Robinson, but he can't get it under control before it's cleared by a Tonbridge defender. Paul Malone does really well, shows his strength to get in ahead of Noel Layton and get the ball clear, and it'll be a Tonbridge throw in inside their own half, as the mood just dips a little bit. We get a little bit of silence from the north stand just to our right. It's been loud so far. There were Tonbridge fans in there banging that drum and singing songs from about an hour before kick-off this afternoon. It's been a really good atmosphere. Brilliant FA Cup tie this. I know there was a lot of talk about neither of these teams getting a big draw and maybe hoping for something a bit different, but you can't get away from the fact that this has felt like a proper FA Cup day out so far, with the atmosphere building. Huge day for both teams. Already mentioned Tonbridge smashing their record attendance. 3,132 in here this afternoon. I think somebody was telling me pre-game they thought the previous record was around about the 2,300, 400 mark. So, as I say, been absolutely smashed, similar to what Harborough did in the last round when they got their own record attendance in the fourth qualifying round against Bury. 28 minutes on the clock. You're not missing anything, by the way. Harborough just shielding the ball out for a throw-in, and Elliot Taylor this time going short to Ben Williams. He then goes long to Stevens, who heads it on well, but it's only to a Tonbridge man as Riley O'Sullivan looks to put him under pressure. He does well, actually. Won the ball back briefly. He was then tackled by Nelson's defensive partner Baccarin, and eventually Fielding, the left centre-back for Tonbridge, able to head back to keeper Rowley. But Riley O'Sullivan, Andy, there proving his threat really in terms of the press leading the line.
Just energetic. I think the defender slightly miscontrolled it. Riley got a sniff, managed to get the block in, and unfortunately that time Ben Stevens wasn't quite with him, so the ball luckily ran through, and I think it was a diving header back to the keeper to go back to take possession again. But him and Ben Stevens will both do that this game. Just look to pick that pocket and put that pressure on. Shields, left hand side, plays a 1-2 between himself and Liam Vincent, but it's won well by Dan Cooper, the right wing back for Harborough today, and they look to come forward. Up to Riley O'Sullivan, halfway line, holds it up well, back to Starkey, ball outside of his boot towards Ben Stevens, just 25 yards out or so, inside to Ben Starkey. He then cuts inside, and the referee has given
the free kick to Tonbridge Angels. He's given it against Ben Starkey for simulation. It was a lovely little cut inside of the boot, nutmegged the man, and as he went through, went down, and the referee has decided there wasn't enough contact, that was a dive, and Ben Starkey will go into the book. Harborough's second of the game, 0-0.
I have to agree, unfortunately, with the referee there, Jack. It was, I don't think there was a lot of contact, and had he stayed on his feet, I think there was actually an opportunity to carry it on, but the ref not taking any of that, and that's the second Harborough player into the book.
It's been a disciplined performance from the referee so far, you would have to say. He was quick to whip out the yellow card for Kennedy early on in the game, but it's been he's not been taking any nonsense, has he, Andy?
No, not at all. You wouldn't expect it. I mean, would have been appointed at a good level today, and you see in the headsets they're wearing, there's a lot of communication going on, but it's good to see, and it's in some ways it's good to see that he's been very consistent, and I think that sometimes is where a lot of frustration comes, but so far I think neither side can have any complaints about what's been done, and I think going back in half an hour just coming up on the clock, and again Mitch will continue to be happy with this. We're starting to come into the game a little bit more through Riley O'Sullivan up front, and as I say, the last 15 minutes just see if we can put some pressure on.
Yeah, Harborough go long once again, but Tonbridge able to come away with it, and Adigan is going to go out wide to Sean Shields. Bit of space for him to run into. He's running at Ben Williams, cuts inside, has an effort, right foot. It's a brilliant save from Elliot Taylor. It was a gorgeous effort, cutting inside from Sean Shields. Right foot, looked like it was headed towards the top corner. Elliot Taylor, though, diving towards his left-hand side, palms it out for a corner, 0-0.
Elliot Taylor doing what Elliot Taylor does best, big strong hand. That was heading for the top corner there, and Els managed to get it out, and I think there was players coming in as well, managed to tip it around the post there, and it's going to be a corner, so the danger's not over, but Elliot Taylor keeping the scores 0-0 near and keeping Harborough in the game. Shields
wearing the captain's armband for Tonbridge Angels today. He's the one that had that effort, and he comes over to take this corner right hand side. It'll be right footed out swinger. Adigan also over to give him the short option, which he chooses to go for. Adigan coming inside, looking to go around Stevens, whips in a ball. He's able to get it into the area. It's a decent effort in the end, but clear well by Paul Malone on the line. It's then headed away by Alex Morris as Harborough scramble to get it away, and it's Ben Starkey now surging down the right hand side. Can he create a counter attack for Harborough? Still with the ball over the halfway line. He then goes around the defender, but his pass down the line to himself a little bit heavy, and in fact the clearance from the Tonbridge man ends up deflecting off Starkey, and he concedes the throw in inside the opposition half. 32 minutes on the clock, 0-0.
First time there, Harborough just not able to clear that first ball coming in from the corner. A little bit of confusion there, a little bit of panic. Clear head, Alex Morris clears it out. Ben Starkey there unlucky, was by himself on that right hand side. Defender just managed to sweep around in time, get the tackle in. Had it gone out for the throw in, it would have been a long throw in, another opportunity, but as I say, Ben Starkey still competitive, and as I say, we go 0-0 as we go into the 32nd minute. Shields showing his threat with that initial opportunity for Tonbridge. Warning sign for Harborough as Tonbridge come forward here. It's Adigan with the low cross. It's pulled down really well by Malone. He's under pressure from Shields, but gets it away well, and Harborough then headed away by Josh Walsh. Under pressure though, Ben Stevens now does really well actually to win the throw in after being tackled by Jason Adigan. He's unhappy with Ben Stevens for the way he came in there, but I think he was asking what his hair shampoo is, to be honest with you. I think
Adigan with his cornrows, Ben Stevens with his slick back. A bold man like me can only look on in envy at the two different hairstyles. 0-0, 33 minutes on the clock. Tonbridge Angels against Harborough Town in the FA Cup, live on BBC Radio Leicester Sport. If it's Leicester City Premier League action you're after, you need 104.9 FM. We're available here on DAB, BBC Sounds and the BBC Sport website and app. If rugby's your thing and you want reaction to Leicester Tigers against Northampton Saints in the Premiership Cup last night, that's available on the Leicester Tigers Rugby Show podcast. And of course, Leicester City reaction will be available later on this evening on the When You're Smiling podcast. Win, lose or draw for City at Portman Road. And here, of course, we will bring you all the sights and sounds of Harborough Town's biggest ever day as they play in the FA Cup first round for the very first time, creating history with every single step that they've made it through this season. In the Premier League, Bournemouth are beating Manchester City by a goal to 0 after Arsenal have already lost in the early kick-off as well. Could make things interesting in the Premier League table as Alex Morris clears one that lands right on the stand above our head. Brighton also leading at Liverpool. Not a good day so far for the teams at the top of the Premier League. As we approach the 35-minute mark here, it's 0-0 between Tonbridge and Harborough Town. Throw in right-hand side for Tonbridge, taken by Lima into Adigan. Plays it back amongst themselves. They then look to go with a ball over the top, but it's headed well by the big man, Alex Morris. I say big man. He's not only huge in terms of his height. Is he wearing a smaller shirt than he was in the last round? Because he looks even more stacked than he did 3 weeks ago. He's
one of the only players that has a different size shirt to everyone else. He's absolutely huge. And the other thing as well is he's quick. He's one of the quickest in the team as well.
Malone stops a ball over the top well, but Shields picks it up. He's been the threat so far for Tonbridge Angels. Plays it out to the left-hand side. Liam Vincent, the left wing-back, looks to go round Cooper. Does. Whips it across towards the back post. Adigan is there, but Morris does really well. Calm as you like. Alex Morris to just chest it out for Tonbridge Angels' fourth corner of the game so far. 36 minutes almost on the clock. It remains 0-0.
Calm under pressure there, just clearing with his shoulder. Alex Morris, who we've just been discussing him, great player at the pitch as well, but doing what he needs to do at the back, and it's going to be out for another corner. They've varied it up a little bit with some short routines, but this one looks like it's going to get whipped in to test right bang in the middle. Yeah,
Shields down this right hand corner. It'll be an outswinger, right footed, two arms in the air, captain's armband today. He does whip it more this time. Outswinger, it's headed, it's knocked on by Fielding. There's appeals of handball, but Morris was, I want to say, a quarter of a metre away from where the ball came, so unclear whether it hit his arm or not, but you were never going to get a decision that close by. And Harborough unhappy here as a throw-in, is given against them right hand side. Riley O'Sullivan thought he'd won it, but the linesman on this side, who's been getting stick from both fans so far, gives it to Angels, and they now get play underway. It's made its way over to the left hand side through Vincent. He then goes back inside, plays it with Maloney, the diminutive central midfielder, as a ball is played through. He looks offside, it's Leighton, and he plays it across the goal, and it's somehow put wide by Jason Adigan. It was a brilliant ball across the goal, half shot, half cross from Noel Leighton, who appeared to have broke the offside trap. Adigan sliding in at the back post and somehow directs it the wrong side of Elliot Taylor's post. It remains 0-0.
I thought Alex Morris got a touch there just to take it out, and that would explain why he didn't score, but the line seems to call it as a goal kick. But again, probably the first time they've managed to pierce that back line, get ahead of the offside trap. Brilliant ball across. Morris was in a great position had he got it on target, whether it would have gone in or not, but Harborough lived to survive another day.
I wonder if Morris got a slight touch that then took it into a different path, which meant Adigan was at a slightly incorrect angle. But they come again here, Tonbridge. They did actually, until Walsh won the ball well. Plays it down to Stevens, dead centre of the pitch, goes out wide now. Dan Cooper, right hand side. Will he whip in a ball? He chooses to go down the line, plays it into Starkey, cuts in well. Can he have an effort? Left foot, he does bend Starkey, but it's over the bar. That was a decent effort though. The opportunity at goal as he cut inside. You saw the ball bobble up slightly just as he went to hit it, and it goes high and wide though for the Tanzania international Ben Starkey. 0-0.
First time this game, I think, Jack, we've managed to get the ball down, 2 or 3 passes, release it on the right. Good skill by Starkey to get himself free. Just couldn't keep that ball down though, and unfortunately just ventures over the goal there. But better from the Bees, much more promising as we go. Probably the last 5 minutes or so coming up. Can we continue to do that and maybe get another chance before the half-time whistle?
Going to whip out my favourite fact about Ben Starkey, the fact that he's been in 2 academies as a youth. Leicester City seems like an obvious choice, and German side SV Wilhelmshaven. Apologies to any German listeners for that pronunciation. 3 caps for Tanzania, made his debut in March of 2022, and he scored against Leamington in the 3rd qualifying round as Harborough prepare for a long throw-in, left-hand side about halfway into the Tonbridge half. And
Dan Cooper
going for the long throw-in. He does, towards the goal. Malone is there, gets his head up, it falls down, but cleared by a Tonbridge man, but into probably a healthier position for another long throw, probably another 10 or 15 yards down the line, and Dan Cooper will load himself up and get ready for another long throw into the box. Malone's gone forward. Morris has gone forward as well. Freddie Robinson in there, the central midfielder. Can one of the big men for Harborough get their head onto this long throw? Dan Cooper. Well, Dan Cooper had actually gone short to Ben Starkey, but the referee's seen something he doesn't like in the box and he's blown his whistle. I'm just going to have a word with one of the Tonbridge men there.
I think they're surrounding the keeper, so you've got Morris, Malone and Robinson, big players, just marking the keeper, just obstructing his view. I think one of the Tonbridge players, they just didn't like that, pushed him out of the way, and ref's just having a quiet word to say, look, cut that out and see how we get on. But it's a good tactic from Harborough, and it worked on the last one. Let's see if we can do it again.
Dan Cooper, long throw, left-hand side, into the Tonbridge box it comes, towards Malone. It's headed on. Freddie Robinson there holds it up. He's tackled, and it's going to be a Harborough Town corner now.
I think he actually slipped there. The ball didn't quite go as long as he expected, but took everyone off guard, sort of under the feet of people, through to Freddie Robinson with his back to goal, and a good challenge by the defender. Is that Harborough? No, Harborough's second corner, I think, of the game.
Third corner of the game.
Oh, good stat man there, Jack.
Counting is going right. Josh Walsh over to take this one, left-hand side, so it'll be right-footed in swinger. The former Leicester City Academy lad Josh Walsh does swing it in towards the far post. There's a big header there, and it's in. Harborough Town have scored.
Paul Malone.
And it's Paul Malone who wheels away at the far post. The big man gets his head on it. The keeper Rowley gets his hand on it, but can only palm it into the back of the net. 41 minutes on the clock. It's Tonbridge 0, Harborough 1.
Paul Malone, the man, the myth, the legend. That's what when he joined us at Step 5, he was doing this week in, week out. Corners coming into the box, had his name on it. Corner, Malone, goal. What a brilliant time to take a goal there. I was just going to make the comparison against the Tamworth game yesterday. Long throws, coming into the box, going into the early 40 minutes, about the same time they scored, and we pick up a goal with 5 minutes. What a way to end this half. Let's just keep it tight now, but Paul Molly Malone, what a goal.
He is, as you say, such a threat from set pieces. I mean, that is what Harborough Town have got at their disposal. Big men going up for the corners. Malone making no mistake there. The keeper, as we mentioned, getting a hand to it, but managed to get so much power behind it, he could only palm it into the back of the net, and it is advantage Harborough in the first half here. BBC Radio Leicester Sport, as Tonbridge looks to come immediately back, and that man once again, Paul Malone, the one to head it clear. And how desperate will they be just to calm things down now, make sure that they go in with the lead at the break?
That's what that experience, again, the goal scorer probably the first person doing that. Paul Malone with so much experience just to calm the players down. Look, heads down, back on it, stick to the game plan and get through this 5 minute period. As I say, that's probably the most important thing now as we go in, just to make sure we go into the break not conceding.
Yeah, Tonbridge now have it left-hand side. Shields cuts in. Will he go for a right-footed cross? No, he drops it off to Maloney. Comes back inside, this time to Hansen. They'll look to come down the right-hand side. It's Backer in the right centre-back up, getting involved in the attack. Then out to Lima. Green boots. He's going inside to Adigan. And Tonbridge taking their time here as Hansen then looks to switch a ball over, but it's poor to Maloney, and he can only head on to Starkey, who manages to head it on towards Sullivan, putting pressure on the Tonbridge man, and the referee waves away any appeals for a free kick as Tonbridge once again look to come forward. There's plenty of men looking to make runs into the box, but Shields chooses to go back inside rather than the ball over the top. 43 minutes on the clock. It's 1-0 to Harborough Town here as Morris comes over and goes long, chooses to clear his lines as Riley O'Sullivan once again does really well to win the ball, hold it up, and he's forced a foul from the Tonbridge man, who's going to get a yellow card as well. Brilliant hold-up play from Riley O'Sullivan, and they'll have a chance to load the box. 1-0.
Great play again. We spoke about it earlier in the game. Riley O'Sullivan, just strength between his man and the ball, forcing the man to foul him, trying to get round him, brings him down. It's actually quite a dangerous position here. It's going to be whipped in by Josh Walsh, but it was, as I say, we've just been talking about the importance of keeping it tight at the back. This is a chance now to make it 2.
Jamie Fielding, the man going into the book for Tonbridge, and it's going to be Ben Stevens. Slick back, black hair, hands through his hair as he gets ready to whip this free kick. It's right footer, it'll be swinging towards the back post, which is exactly what he does. It was towards Malone once again, but this time Tonbridge able to clear. Malone does really well though. Has he won the ball back high? No. Adigan does really well actually for Tonbridge to come away from it, but he can only lay it off to Josh Walsh coming forward, bursting forward. Josh Walsh, is he going to have an effort on goal? It's a brilliant effort, but the keeper saves comfortably. It was a fantastic run from Walsh, marauding from the right wing into the box on the edge, had an effort left footed. In the end, maybe slightly tamer than he'd hoped, and the keeper able to collect and head it back out. But as we approach the half time mark here, it's Tonbridge 0, Harborough Town 1.
Josh Walsh, naturally a central midfielder, his game. He's been playing at left back, I think, since the middle of last season. Great on the ball, great surging runs like that, and as I say, perfect example there. Just on his weaker foot, on his right foot, that's going to test the keeper slightly more than it did. But again, another brilliant chance for the Bees to go into the high to try and add to it.
I tell you what it indicates, I'll tell you in a sec actually, as Tonbridge look to come forward. Good interception by Walsh. 1 minute added on at the end of this half. It shows a level of confidence that I don't think we were seeing before they took the lead.
No, as I say, just getting the foot on the ball. We had that chance they had where we discussed it, going just before, about 5 before the goal, get the ball down and play it. And ever since then, a bit more confidence. You've got Tonbridge sitting back a bit more, not pressing as much, and Harborough able to go into the game. He had a run of long throws there that caused the chance, that caused the corner, and that's where the goal came from. So, yeah, the Bees just coming into this morning after being more at home here down in Kent.
About 30 seconds or so left of the first half as Tonbridge win a free kick just inside the Harborough half as Lima went up for a header, I think with Freddie Robinson, the Harborough man, giving away the foul, and Tonbridge will have one opportunity to load Harborough's box and potentially get an equaliser before the break. You would think this will be the last opportunity of the half as Maloney comes over to take it. The referee making him go a bit further back towards the halfway line and towards the byline here, but the touchline, sorry, but one arm in the air. He does choose to go long towards the far corner of the boxes. Dan Cooper gets his head on the ball. That was the final opportunity of the half, and what a half it was for Harborough Town. It started in a slow manner, maybe tentative from both sides, but it's Harborough Town that have taken the lead. A corner whipped in from Josh Walsh towards the far post, and the big man Paul Malone up from the back, bullet header at the back post that the keeper couldn't keep out, and Harborough Town go into the break with a 1-0 lead, looking to make history in the FA Cup, and things still going over at Portman Road. So we'll hand over to your commentary team there of Owen Palmer-Atkin and Matty Fryer.
Forward towards the lap on the edge of Leicester's area. It's headed away by Fast, then Winks, then Fatau, whose touch only finds Leif Davis down the left. Winks jumps into a challenge. Davis watches him till the floor and then delivers a good ball into the area, headed away by Vestergaard. Will be picked up by Johnson, and Hutchinson on the corner of the box on the right here for Ipswich. Gets to the byline, pulls across. A strong cross, almost a cross-come shot really. And that goes out for a Leicester goal kick. Facundo Buonanotte allowed back onto the field now. 0-0 it remains as we approach the half-time break.
Yeah, just see it through to the half. Ipswich have been the stronger of the two as the half has been closing in, picking up them second balls a little bit sharper to him. Hutchinson coming to it more as well.
Long ball lifted forward from the goal kick. It's a good header won by Burgess. Vestergaard has to head this, what he thought was going out of play, but picked up here by Chaplin on the right hand side for Ipswich Town, right at the end of the first half here. Gets to the level with the edge of the penalty area. Johnson delivers a low cross from the right. It's intercepted by Vestergaard and Winks. On the edge of the area, Phillips is lent into by Buonanotte. O'Shea in possession, turns it round the corner halfway line into Hutchinson, who tried his own take on the Bergkamp turn there, which didn't go too well. Good afternoon to our DAB listeners and listeners on BBC Sounds. We're back at Harborough Town in the FA Cup first round shortly. They're here at Portsmouth Road. Leicester City going at the break goalless with Ipswich Town. Both sides having spells in the game, chances either way, and you feel that in the second half there could well be goals in this game. Facundo Buonanotte coming closest for Leicester City with a good save from Muric after Steffi Mavididi fluffed his line 6 yards out after a good cross from Jamie Vardy. Ipswich Town though have had their chances. Burgess with a free header at the back post, Hutchinson causing problems on the right hand side, and Liam Delap not too far away alongside Connor Chaplin, who saw a 20-yard effort go just wide of the top left hand corner. Half time here though, with both teams work to do at the break. It's Ipswich Town 0, Leicester City 0. Analysis to come now from former Foxes striker Matty Fryer and your matchday presenter Adam Whitty.
I feel like Matty Fryer's body language has told the story of that half. We started very positive, but then the gesticulations have become slightly more frustrated and wilder, Matty, as the half has gone on, which probably tells you that it has been Ipswich who have grown in this game and become more dominant.
They have. It was a really good start by Leicester, control things. Probably should have been ahead. The Mavididi chance was a big one, just couldn't sort his feet out quick enough. Again, Buonanotte run, that would have been one hell of a goal. The footwork was amazing, the agility, it was comparisons of a Messi come Maradona. It would have been some goal, that would have been, but Leicester couldn't get the breakthrough. And then as the half wore on, Ipswich grew into the game, started picking up the second balls. The crowd obviously with them, could see their energy and intensity in their play, and they had chances. Burgess, he'll be wondering how he didn't score, unmarked in the box, 6 yards out, should really be scoring, let off for Leicester. And then the Chaplin one near the end, that was a fantastic strike, just drifted away at the last. But Leicester, Ipswich have been the better of the two teams as the half wore on, so Leicester will be sort of relieved to get in at half time, even though the start of it was all Leicester and it looked very dominant, very much of how it looked last season.
We'll go to Longmead in just a second. Harborough Town with a fantastic half in the FA Cup, but one more, Matty, before I give you a bit of a half-time break. We talked about the style pre-game, didn't we? Whether it would look a bit like Enzo Maresca, a little bit like Steve Cooper. I did note at one stage you said how well Leicester were playing through the lines a la Maresca. But how have Leicester played tactically, do you think? What's been your assessment?
Again, they've been very good on the ball. It's just that space on at the minute. Ipswich have pressed up, so Leicester have gone a little bit longer. It's where to play onto. I think the option, the out ball, is for Tau in terms of the size. You've got two big centre backs. Johnson's powerful, the Mavididi, so if they can't play through, probably switch it onto Fatawu's side. Got a good leap. Instead, Ipswich are winning that longer ball and then picking up the seconds and actually starting their attacks from that situation, that second ball, and then playing from there, sort of like win the seconds and then the counter from it. So Leicester have got to be aware of that, because space has opened up as it's gone on through not being able to play through. So if it is going to go long, either play the space, go even bigger, or kick perhaps for Tau's side.
Matty, thank you very much indeed. Goalless it is at Portman Road at the break. Ipswich Town 0, Leicester City 0. That's been on FM. On DAB, well, it's been a very exciting half. Harborough might be on the verge.
Josh Walsh over to take this one left hand side, so it'll be right footed in swinger. The former Leicester City Academy lad Josh Walsh does swing it in towards the far post. There's a big header there and it's in. Harborough Town have scored.
Paul Malone.
And it's Paul Malone who wheels away at the far post. The big man gets his head on it. The keeper Rowley gets his hand on it but can only palm it into the back of the net. 41 minutes on the clock. It's Tonbridge 0, Harborough 1.
And that is how it stayed at the break. Harborough 1-0 up away at Tonbridge Angels, a league above them in the FA Cup first round. Andy Sparrow is there. He's been our matchday summariser today. Andy, talk us through the half, what your review has been.
It's been a half that Mitch will be happy with, and the guys here. At times, Tonbridge have got into the game really well. They've kept the ball, not failed to penetrate. I think we've only could count one or two times they've been able to get through sort of clean breaks, and a brilliant save by Elliot Taylor, probably about on the 35-minute mark. Strong right-handed save that sort of kept the scores at 0-0, and Tonbridge then dropped back. They dropped back off Harborough. We managed to get on the ball a little bit, a couple of chances, and it was two long throws in a row that resulted in the corner, and Paul Malone doing what Paul Malone has been doing ever since he joined the club, towering header, and the keeper just couldn't get a strong enough hand on it into the corner, and we go into the break 1-0.
I always think about, when you talk about knockout games, it is things like set pieces that will decide things for you. And to explain to us, Andy, because this is something, as you mentioned, that Paul Malone does so well. He's such a threat from set pieces for Harborough.
Yeah, so Paul Malone joined us right at the start of our sort of step 5 winning season a couple of years ago, and he came as a central defender, and it was at that level he was scoring corner after corner after corner with his head. He then went the start of last season, he was actually playing up front for the Bees as more of a target man. He broke his arm in an FA Vars game against Harborough, and ever since he's sort of been coming back, he's been going back into the centre of the defence. But he's such a presence, he's got so much experience and guile, and knows where to be at the right time. And especially when you've got other threats in that box, you can't just focus on Paul Malone. You've got Alex Morris, Freddie Robinson and Ben Williams. They've got to try and mark all the players, and Malone just got ahead of his man, and yeah, what a finish into the top. But as I say, he's been doing that for the Bees ever since he joined us, and of all days he's done it today. And I'm not going to get myself too far ahead, but we are 1-0 going into the break.
And tell me about Tonbridge then. Young side, I noticed younger than Harborough's. What have you seen from them? What are Harborough going to have to be wary of second half?
It's been great for Harborough. Great for Tonbridge. Sorry, they've played really well at times. Harborough have allowed them to have the ball. They've set up and been really resolute. I think, and maybe Jack will be maybe nod or shake against me, but this right hand side, you've got the right wing back is really testing Josh Walsh, and a couple of times he's managed to get right behind him and cut the ball back inside. So I think the wings is going to be where the home side are going to look to put Harborough under pressure, but the way we've defended has been resolute. Elliot Talley's been calm under pressure, and as I say, only 1 or 2 chances they've had that have resulted in that resulted in the chance they had. So that's what they'll look to press. But Mitch will be in that changing room now, just saying, look, just keep doing what you've been doing, keep the mistakes to a minimum. I think that's going to be key coming out this second half in front of this crowd. The longer this game goes on, we'll probably start sitting back a little bit more naturally, because in everyone's mind will be that final whistle. But it's going to be I think it's going to be the least mistakes, or the less amount of mistakes we can make will give us the best chances to get through this next half and get to the 90 minutes.
It's been interesting, Adam. Andy mentioned there the right hand side, which has been the real threat, but you look at the statistics for Tonbridge so far, and it's that left hand side. Liam Vincent, who's playing left wing back, he's their top scorer with 7. You've also got the captain Sean Shields on 5 goals. He's playing sort of the left midfield, but it really is those wing backs coming forward that have shown the threat. But Harborough's men, the big men at the back that we've already mentioned, dealing with crosses into the box. So I think what Harborough have got to make sure that they're doing in this second half is, if there is the threat from the wide players for Tonbridge, whether that's the wing backs or the wingers, they've got to try and force them to put crosses into the box as opposed to letting them come inside themselves. Harborough seem to be dealing with those crosses at the moment, but what a tense finish I expected to have as we head into the second half.
Yeah, the players are going to have to keep it cool, Andy. Do you reckon you will? How are you feeling now?
I'm all right. I'm not going to lie. It's had it been 0-0, my nerves would have been a bit better. But look, you can't help but watch again. Last night, Tamworth on TV. You watch that second half there, and I just hope the boys come out and carry on playing the same game they've been doing the first half. Mitch said it in all the pre-game build-up. Belief. They've come out here with belief in this first half. We've got the lead, and now we've got to believe we can keep it and make sure that 90 minutes is going to be us going into that draw tomorrow evening.
Andy, Jack, we will be back with you for second half commentary in just a few minutes' time. Harbour Town lead Tonbridge Angels by 1-0 down at Longmead. They have 45 minutes to go, but they are on the verge of the second round of the FA Cup. That's on DAB, the BBC Sport website app, and on BBC Sounds. Elsewhere in tennis, Katie Bolter's fantastic run at the Hong Kong Open continues. She's into the final in Asia, beating China's Yu Yuan by 2-1. It's the first set the British #1 from Woodhouse Eves has lost in the tournament so far. She's in action tomorrow in the final against Russia's Diana Schneider. Elsewhere around the grounds in the Premier League, Newcastle beat Arsenal in the early kick-off. Alexander Isak's goal, the difference. That's 3 games without a win in the league for Arsenal. Bournemouth lead Manchester City at the Vitality. None of the top sides going well today, it has to be said. Liverpool also losing 1-0 to Brighton. It's Antoine Semenyo's goal that is the difference there, while at Anfield, Fabian Hertzler's side are in the lead. Ferdi Kadioglu giving them the 1-0 lead at Anfield. Nottingham Forest are ahead at West Ham. Chris Wood at it again, his 8th goal of the season, and both Brighton and Forest will be in the top 4 if results stay stayed the same in the other game. Southampton against Everton. That's probably the game that City fans will have their eyes on the most. All of the top six playing, bottom six I should say, playing each other today. They are, and it's goalless down at St Mary's. They're in the rugby. George Martin playing for England as they take on New Zealand. It's a 2-point game at the moment. New Zealand with 2 tries, but it's plenty of kicking for England. 14-12 it is at Twickenham in that game there. Last night we brought you rugby action in the Premiership Rugby Cup. Leicester Tigers going down to defeat against Northampton Saints. 5 tries scored by the Saints. Most of the squad made up by Davidton's academy coach Matt Smith, when he spoke to me after the game at Franklin's Gardens. Glad to at least give them the experience.
Matt, commiserations. Your thoughts at full time there?
Obviously, first thoughts are disappointed. As a Leicester team, we never like to come here and lose. So my first thought is probably around disappointment. But I think as we kind of unpackage it, I think there's probably more positive than we thought, especially with the younger team. I think it was a third of the match day 23 today. It's their first senior game, and for them to come and experience a pretty much full Franklin's Gardens is an unbelievable experience, which will undoubtedly stand them in good stead in the years to come.
What was the difference? We're just sort of looking at the age profiles, probably with those debutants, less experienced side, but what did you think the difference was between you and Saints overall?
I think we spoke at half time around we compound a lot of errors today. I think we go error on error that takes your energy, and that's a big lesson for the young guys today around how an error in isolation is fine, but with an error on error, that's where momentum in a game of rugby kind of swings one way or the other. That was my first thought. That's probably the big difference we've seen.
Give me a sense of those positives too. What were the things that you have taken away that make you feel like there's a lot to build on, there's a lot of talent within the guys that had experiences today? Yeah,
well, I think that we did do some good things. When we defended the way we wanted to defend, we turned the ball over. When we attacked the way we wanted to attack, we took some good edges and we scored some good tries. It's, again, I think another learning for this group is they need to do it always. They always need to do it, which they're going to have to do if they're going to progress up into the first team.
So what's the reaction out there? I mean, obviously you've got a wide range of experience out there. You've got guys who've been there and done it in the game. But just interested, when you come up, you played your first game, might be for Leicester Tigers, as you say, you've played in front of pretty much a full house, but you've lost. It's Northampton Saints. A lot of these guys have been academy products, grown up to want to beat Northampton more than anything. What was the sense you were getting from the lads out there?
Or the sense, again, we're going to change them now. That I'll make it pretty clear that we always want to win. Like we come here to win. It's never acceptable to lose for Leicester Tigers, whatever team you play. That will be the overriding sense. But it is a special night for those young guys. Their first senior appearance. I can remember it like it was yesterday. And I remember tonight for the rest of their lives.
Welcome back to the Longmead Stadium. Sorry to cut you off, Matt Smith, there, but we are back underway here. FA Cup first round action. Harborough leading by a goal to nil against Tonbridge Angels, and the Angels see fit to make a couple of changes at the half-time break. I'll run them through you in just a sec as the Angels look to come forward after intercepting a loose pass from Paul Malone, but Harborough win it well through Robinson, who looks to go long down the line, and the referee gives a free kick as Nelson bundles into the back of Ben Stevens. So the 2 changes after just describing him as the danger man for Tonbridge, Jason Adigan, he's replaced by Travan Robinson, who is a striker, so you would think they would be going to a 3-4-1-2 potentially, with Shields moving into the number 10. Tariq Hines as well, replacing Crossley Lima on the right hand side. So basically the 2 players we said that were the threat for Tonbridge Angels have gone off.
Commentator's curse, isn't it?
Absolutely. As Harborough look to go long with this free kick from inside their own half, they do, but it's going to be headed away easily by a Tonbridge man. Harborough looking to get it back in though, as Ben Stevens is deemed to give a foul away against Ryan Hansen in the middle of the park, and Tonbridge will have a free kick of their own, sort of halfway back in their own half, and it will be taken by the centre-back Jamie Fielding.
Looks like they have gone 2 up top, Jack, at the front for Tonbridge, so just having a look and seeing how they're going to reshape now they're attacking. So something different. Obviously the one man up front didn't work in that half, and they're going to try something different in this one, so see if the Bees can hold firm.
The referee has come over to the dugouts here, and it's not really clear what's going on. It's down just to our left-hand side. Mitch Austin, the Harborough boss, with a little bit of concern. The referee's over having a word with officials from both sides, and it's not really clear to us or the fans what's going on. As I try and look for any sort of evidence of what's happening. Andy, can you see anything?
Not sure if they're swapping restaurant suggestions for after the game, maybe. I don't know, but something's happened. I'm not quite sure what. I think it's potentially something between the two benches, but ref seems happy. But maybe we'll try and find out. But we'll see if we can find out as we go on. And the ref seems happy to continue now.
Well, after a break of about a minute there, the referee is going to blow his whistle, and Tonbridge able to get us back underway through fielding, and he chooses to go back to Rowley, the keeper, and they will play it amongst themselves. The ball is over the top from Tonbridge, and the referee has decided that is a foul from Dan Cooper, coming in for a header just on the edge of the penalty area towards the left hand side, and this may be an opportunity for Tonbridge to have a go at goal. Sean Shields, the captain, is standing over it, as is Taylor Maloney and Liam Vincent, who is the Tonbridge top scorer so far this season. 2 minutes into this second half, it remains 1-0 to the Bees.
Last goal we conceded was a free kick in a very similar positioning, Jack, so I hope we've learned a lesson from Lowestoft away.
Elliot Taylor in goal. It's a four-man wall for Harborough, just inside their own penalty area, and it looks like it is going to be Shields to line this up 2 steps back. He runs over the ball. It's Maloney, whips it in towards the near corner, and it's 5 or so yards wide in the end. Comfortable for Elliot Taylor, and it remains Tonbridge 0, Harborough 1.
Great free kick there, good pace on it. Had it found that top corner, Elliot Taylor's getting nowhere near it, but thankfully it just glances a couple of yards past the post, and I can sit a little bit easier in this seat next to you, Jack.
Yeah, Elliot Taylor in the Harborough goal, down that far end away from us now, and in the true non-league fashion, which you love to see, the Tonbridge fans have gone down the other end, and the Harborough fans have now come down to this end. A perfect swap, really, of all those fans that were in the 2 stands. We've just been told, by the way, that break in play was because of the ref's battery pack running out of juice, which you don't get too much of in non-league. You see it a lot in the Premier League these days, as Robinson looks to come forward for Tonbridge Angels, finds Shields on the edge of the box. He goes down the wing to Vincent, low cross into the box. It takes a deflection. Can Harborough get it away here? It falls to Shields on the volley. It's a lovely effort, but it was always rising and goes over Elliot Taylor's goal, and it remains Harborough 1-0 up.
Is it 90 minutes yet, Jack? No, they've started really well this half, Tonbridge. That change in shape, change of personnel, just putting Harborough under pressure. No shots on goal, but you can just feel maybe coming out in the second half a slightly different way. They're playing, slightly different pressure, and at the moment we're holding firm, but let's just hope it continues.
Yeah, 4 of the 45 gone in this second half. If you're counting it down like that, Andy, it's going to be horrible for the Bees fans, as Ben Stevens brings it down well inside the Tonbridge half, goes down the line to Riley O'Sullivan, but under pressure. He's tackled well, but Harborough able to win it back through Walsh, but he's then tackled, and Tarek Hines, the substitute for Tonbridge, now looking to come forward down the right hand side. Shield once again, he plays one down the line towards Robinson, the other substitute. Will he be able to have an effort here? He's tackled well, but it falls to Hines. He's right on the corner of the box now, right hand side, looks to go around. I think that's Paul Malone over there.
Yeah, Paul Malone,
who does really well to win the ball and plays it up to Ben Stevens. He then brings it out to Robinson, but his touch is poor, and he's tackled in the end by Maloney. He looks tired out there, Freddie Robinson, at the moment. Looking very red, the contrast to the bright yellow kit that obviously Harborough Town are winning, as Riley O'Sullivan is brought down inside the centre circle, and the referee blows his whistle, gives the free kick to Harborough, and 5 minutes gone in the second half now, Andy. Just 40 to go.
Freddie picked up a slight injury that last game. I think he came off against Lowestoft, so he spoke to physio before this and said he was back to full fitness, but I agree, he looks a little bit out of breath in this half. Just go back to that attack for Tonbridge. It was Ben Williams with the interception, vital interception from the cross, just nicked the ball away from the striker. So great play by the captain, the real Mr. Harborough Town, can we just say, Jack?
Josh Walsh playing the ball over the top. It was towards Morris, but it's headed away by Tonbridge. Starkey though picks it up well, right hand side. Does he use Cooper? He's got him for company. Yes, he does. It's really nice down to the ball, and he cuts it back towards Starkey. It's a brilliant tackle. It's intercepted as it comes back towards Kennedy. He has a long range shot and it flies over the bar, but it was a nice play between Starkey and Cooper down the right hand side for Harborough, but unable to take advantage. It remains 1-0.
Lovely little interplay there between Starkey and Coops. Manages to get the ball out, and I think Connor Kennedy wanted, it was not a lot of pace coming onto that ball, so he had to try and generate a lot of it himself. Just hit the ball, lean back, and unfortunately the ball just sailed over the Hallican Welsh stand in the north stand.
Tonbridge now have the ball just inside the Harborough half as a ball is played down the wing, but Ben Williams able to go and collect that, and he'll clear down the line. Can Stevens keep it in? He does really well with his head. Knocks it inside to Starkey, who plays a ball over the top. Riley O'Sullivan, can he get on the end of this here? No. Fielding does well to get in and put it out, but it's good pressure from O'Sullivan to win the throw-in in a dangerous position for Harborough. They will, as you imagine, go for this long into the box, and the big men making their way up. Malone, Morris, Williams.
It's as good as a corner, Jack, to be honest with you, the way Dan Cooper's been I'm not going to compare Dan Cooper to Tom Tonks because he won't thank me for that in the slightest, but again, another good throw in here and with the big men up. Just see if he can clear that first man and let Paul Malone attack it again.
Here comes Malone into the box. Bright yellow boots, which for me is sort of in stark contrast to his playing style as a big hard centre half, as is the way these days. Cooper will look to throw this long. He does. It's towards the near post. It's over a couple of heads, but it's cleared well by Tonbridge.
2v2 if it breaks here.
Yeah, and Walsh does really well to get his head in and prevent that 2v2. It was Shields and Robinson, the lads who were up for Tonbridge, as Harborough looked to put it back into a dangerous area, but the home side able to collect the ball, and they will start themselves a move from the back now as Nelson looked to go long. It's headed out well though by the Harborough man as Starkey looks to go down the line once again, but there's too much on that, and Rowley, the Reading loanee in goal for Tonbridge Angels, will collect it and roll it out to start things once again. But Harborough Town under pressure here, as in fact a ball through to Robinson. He was in an offside position in the end, but it was a lovely pass played through by Shields. He's really been the danger man for Tonbridge today, wearing the captain's armband, but thankfully the linesman's flag goes up and Harborough can take their time with this one, as we've played 8 minutes or so of the second half.
Quite end-to-end, Jack, quite open, I think, both sides. I think Harborough looking to break and Tonbridge, as I say, trying to push forward, but the ball, unlike the first half where there was a lot of possession, they were quite happy to keep it under no rush. The home side here really looking to try and move the ball quickly up the field and get the ball into those dangerous positions.
You feel like the next goal is huge in this FA Cup tie. Tonbridge Angels against Harborough. Harborough looking to become the first team making their maiden appearance in the first round to reach the second round as well since Kings Lynn in 2020-21 season.
Just asking for a tug on the shirt there. I think Ben Starkey beat his player in the ball. Just a little tug on the shirt. The ref didn't want to call it, but I'm going to call it. I don't know what we're going to call it code in this half. Jack, another long throw coming in.
It is, as Dan Cooper goes over to that left-hand side this time. He's only about halfway into the Tonbridge half, which shows you just how much Harborough are willing to go for the long throws. It doesn't have to be level with the penalty areas. It comes in now from Cooper, a bit flatter this time towards Morris. Can he bring it down? No, and it's cleared long by Robinson, the number 9 for Tonbridge, and it'll go out for a Harborough throw in just inside their own half, and Josh Walsh in no rush to go and get that ball from in the crowd on that opposite side, and Harborough will take their time, as you will imagine they will, for a lot of things this second half, as Cooper went for the throw back. I couldn't quite see Elliot Taylor in position. It looked like he'd just thrown it for a Tonbridge man to run onto, but then appeared the Harborough keeper to clear, and in the process Riley O'Sullivan giving away a free kick, and Tonbridge will come forward now from inside their own half. They do go long. It's Fielding looking to go over the top towards Vincent. It's Cooper up, heads well though, as Kennedy then heads it on once again, but it's picked up once again by Tonbridge. Home side putting the pressure on at the minute. Fielding, the centre back, out to Nelson. 1-2 between those two as they look patient with their play. Freddie Robinson with Fielding for company as he bursts forward down the left hand side. It's Liam Vincent looking to go down to the byline to get a cross in. He does, but it's blocked by Dan Cooper, and it'll go out for Tonbridge's 5th corner of the game, first one of this second half. It remains 1-0 Harborough.
A lot of ball down this left hand side for Tonbridge. Dan Cooper defending really well, great headers, great, he's standing it really well, but they seem to switch the focus of the attack first half, wanting to go down the right hand side, really attacking Josh Walsh, and sort of switch over to the left hand side now, which, Jack, with the line what you were saying about where the danger men were, but they've kind of moved it around, but switching focus is working here for Tonbridge.
Well, they go short with the corner, they do. Robinson goes over to collect, left hand side, he chips a ball towards the back post. Is there a threat from Tonbridge? There is, but Elliot Taylor down to it. It was headed down, I think, by Baccarin, the centre half for Tonbridge Angels, but Elliot Taylor able to collect and looks to go for the quick ball over the top towards O'Sullivan. His hold-up play has been brilliant so far today, and once again he able to knock this one down the line towards Starkey, putting the pressure under the defender, but he's calm and goes back now to the Tonbridge keeper Rowley, the Reading loanee, and once again Tonbridge will come forward. Ben Stevens almost with the interception as the defenders passed it amongst themselves, but couldn't quite get there. The long ball then from Nelson, headed out by Williams, and it'll be a Tonbridge throw-in on the left-hand side. And will they choose to go long as well?
Big men up from the back for them, Jack.
Well, they've gone short. Vincent to Maloney, 1-2 between themselves. A cross is then blocked by Cooper, and it'll be out for a throw-in in the left wing position for Tonbridge Angels. Don't forget, if you're after Leicester City action, it's available on 104.9 FM in the Premier League. 0-0 at Portman Road between them and Ipswich Town at the moment. We're live on DAB, BBC Sounds, BBC Sport website. As the long throw comes in, it's headed away by Freddie Robinson and out for a Tonbridge corner as Leif Davis gives Ipswich the lead in that game. Leicester City 1-0 down against Ipswich Town. That available on 104.9 FM. I feel like it's my fault for saying it was 0-0 as the corner comes in for Tonbridge. It's headed by the number 10 Noel Leighton, but it's over the bar. Warning though for Harborough Town. It remains Tonbridge 0, Harborough 1.
Still not on target, but still worrying. That's another chance. Probably, 3 or 4, first 12 minutes this half, 3 or 4 good chances for Tonbridge. Elliot Taylor making some good saves and a bit more accuracy, and you're going to be putting that goal in danger. But we live on. We're still here. We're still 1-0 up, and there's only 12 minutes gone. Are you sure that clock's right, Jack?
It is actually about a minute behind, to be fair.
Fantastic.
So I think we're approaching the 59th minute of the game, approaching the hour mark as Harborough lead in the FA Cup first round, the very first time they've reached this stage of the competition, looking of course to make it to the second round for the first time as Starkey has it left hand side, cuts in, plays a lovely ball down the line. Ben Stevens into the box, can he finish it? Yes he can! Ben Stevens, cool as you like. It was a lovely through ball from Ben Starkey. Stevens takes it under control, brings it onto his right foot and curls it past the Tonbridge keeper into the bottom corner. They have got 1 foot, they have got 1.5 feet in the next round. It's Tonbridge 0, Harborough Town 2.
I have to speak now, don't I? Whoa, what play. Ben Starkey, we highlighted him pre-game as a danger man. Brilliant interplay, great piece into the ball. And the first time we've slipped that off, so we've slipped that ball through. Ben Stevens beats the offside trap, cuts in from the left-hand side, low past the keeper. It's 2-0. We are 2-0 up here in Tonbridge. Oh, dreamland. Absolute dreamland.
What a brilliant finish from Ben Stevens. Cool as you like.
It's that experience, Jack. Again, coming from that high level down, he's a proven goal scorer and he's showing there the composure. 2 players on his back and just slotting it past that keeper. Brilliant finish. But again, against the run of play in this half, Tonbridge with all the play in this half, and Harborough break and get the second. 9th goal of the season for Harborough's top scorer as Tonbridge look to come forward once again. They have got a mountain to climb now, have the Kent side. Harborough have half an hour to keep them out. If they defend like they have in this first half,
they will be into the second round as Josh Walsh wins the ball really well against Tarek Hines down the left hand side, goes into Riley O'Sullivan. He's tackled well though by Baccarin, and Tonbridge will come forward once again. It's Hines right hand side, cutting inside, cutting back outside. He slips but he's able to regain possession, then goes back to the central midfield pairing of Maloney and Hansen. They're under pressure now from Kennedy on a yellow card for Harborough Town, but keeping his cool and not doing anything silly at the moment as Tonbridge look to come forward once again. It's out to the left hand side where they'll find Vincent, the left wing back, the top scorer for Tonbridge this season. Plays a 1-2 between himself and Nelson. It's down the left wing now. It's whipped in by Vincent and it's defended really well by Paul Malone. It's out for another corner for Tonbridge Angels, their 7th of the game. It's Tonbridge 0, Harborough 2.
I think that clearance crossed the N25, Jack, and he's heading that way through London. Great clearance by Paul Malone there. Really important period now for the Bees just to keep a level head. As I say, very easy now for the Bees to sit back, to sort of take a real defensive stance, but they need to keep playing that same game we've come out in the second half. Tonbridge are going to have chances, they need to accept that, but the Bees need to keep being aggressive and see if we can go forward at times.
Corner whipped in, it's towards the far post, it's headed away by Paul Malone, and Starkey will pick it up. Can he create something on the counter attack? It looks to go down the line, but it's aimless really, and it goes out for a throw into Tonbridge just inside the Harborough half. Riley O'Sullivan was in a position for a counter attack. Starkey unable to find him though, and has that gone out for a throw in? It has, down the left hand side, as Harborough just looking to slow things down a little bit. Josh Walsh wandering over to take the throw in just inside the Tonbridge half, goes inside to Starkey, who's looked really bright today as you would expect. He's the man that Mitch Austin said was the danger man.
Tonbridge.
And it looks like Tonbridge are going to throw another roll of the dice as Harborough come down the left hand side now through Riley O'Sullivan. He's level with the penalty area. Can he get across? And he does, but it's blocked, and then Shields able to clear only as far though as the edge of the box. It's going to be a throw in. You know what that means for Harborough Town. It's going to be a long one. Dan Cooper's going to wander over and take this long throw for Harborough, the commercial finance broker. If you're wondering, by the way, Paul Malone, the goal scorer, owns a bricklaying business. Ben Stevens, I don't know his job, Andy. What's his job?
Good question.
He's a footballer.
He's a footballer.
He's a footballer.
And he scores goals in the FA Cup first round.
Dan Cooper, long throw into the area. It comes towards Malone. He's under pressure, and in fact he's having his shirt tugged there, but it doesn't matter because it's a Tonbridge man who knocks it out, and it's going to be Harborough's 4th corner of the game. Real opportunity. If they can add a third here, they would be in absolute dreamland.
Yeah, just before that, Mitch was just on the side there, just revving them up, saying keep this going, keep the tempo up, don't let it drop. Just making out to the key players, who's going out to Ben Williams to get the side going. It's really important we just keep this level of intensity and effort up for this next 10-15 minutes especially.
Walsh over to take it, 2 arms in the air. It's going to be an in-swinger, right-footed. It's towards Malone again. There's pushing and shoving in the box. Robertson was brought down, but it was cleared by a Tonbridge man, only though out for another corner. More threat for the Bees against Tonbridge. Their 5th of the game. Josh Walsh will stay over that left-hand side to take another corner. You can see just how panicked Tonbridge are at these set pieces. They are doing everything they can to bring down the big men of Harborough. Robinson, Williams, Malone, Cooper. Walsh whips it in, right-footed, it's towards the back post, it's towards Williams, he heads it inwards, but it's off the back of the head of a Tonbridge man for another Harborough Town corner. They are 2-0 up in the FA Cup. They are the team putting the pressure on for a third at the minute.
The Beast fan behind that goal are going mental here. You can hear them singing. Riley O'Sullivan getting them rolled up. This is superb pressure here, eating away minutes as we go through the second half.
And Stevens, number 10 on his back, comes over to collect the ball. He's in the corner along with Josh Walsh. It will be Walsh though, the number 3, the left wing back for Harborough Town, Leicester City Academy product. Works in finance, Josh Walsh. He's a very clever lad. Right-footed corner. It's flat towards Ben Williams. Gets his head on it, but it's just wide. Robinson let it go over his head rather than trying to direct it goalwards, and it is wide from the Harborough captain. But once again, showing the threat they have at set pieces. It remains 2-0.
Substitute going to come here, Jack. I think for Tonbridge, going to make another change.
It is, and it's going to be Maloney in the middle of the park going off, and he's going to be replaced by their club captain, Scott Wagstaff.
As this game goes on, Jack, I think you're going to find Tonbridge pushing forward and taking more risks, and it's going to be where the pace of people like Ben Stevens, and if you look over to the Harborough bench, you've got the likes of Kai Tong sat there, that electric pace on him, that we're going to have those chances on the break as it comes. But as we keep going into this half, Harborough have had the better of the last 5-10 minutes. Tonbridge haven't been in the Harborough half.
Tonbridge choosing to play out from the back this time through field, and he then finds Wagstaff immediately showing energy. Big bushy beard as he bursts down the right wing, does Wagstaff. Claims of a free kick, but it's good pressure from Starkey down in the conventional left back position to win the ball well. Have Harborough then won a free kick through O'Sullivan? No, but O'Sullivan does really well actually. Get himself back up. He was under pressure, pushed onto the floor by Backwin, got himself back up, and earns his side a throw-in just inside their own half. It remains 2-0.
Surprisingly, they didn't give the free kick, but fair play to Riley, back on his feet, got back on the ball, and defenders forced into making the tackle, goes out for a Harborough throw-in. And again, I don't think we're going to be a huge rush to take this, but Alex Morris is going to take that ball, which in his hands does look very small, Jack, for a very big man.
Yeah, they're playing with the size 4. We're about halfway through the second half here at the Longmead Stadium here in Kent. Tonbridge Angels 0, Harborough Town 2. FA Cup first round. Can Ben Stevens nick in and win the ball? No. Tonbridge able to win it back, and they come out wide to Vincent, the left wing back, top scorer for the Angels this season. Goes around Cooper. Can Cooper recover? Not quite. Vincent burst of pace down the left wing, goes for the cross, and Cooper does really well to block it, and it goes out for a throw-in rather than a corner in that left-hand side for Tonbridge Angels. They again sending their big men forward for a long throw from Vincent. Here it comes. It's not headed away by Harborough. It is eventually back out to Vincent. Another cross towards the far post. Harborough get up though. It's a big head, I think, from Morris that time, and Tonbridge pick it up again. Edge of the box, out to the right wing back, Tarek Hines. He whips in across. It's a lovely ball, but headed again away from Morris as Harborough looks to come forward through O'Sullivan. Can he hold it up? He does really well actually. Goes for the long ball, but nobody up for Harborough. And maybe if he'd lifted his head a little bit, he'd have seen the on-rushing run of Ben Stevens in a decent position, but all it does is give away possession, and Tonbridge coming forward once again, and that is an aimless pass from Scott Wagstaff. All it does is roll out for a Harborough throw-in that they're going to take an age to go over and take. There's still about 20 minutes or so left, but Harborough taking their time with absolutely everything at the moment. Tonbridge 0, Harborough 2.
There'll be no rush here. As I say, just use the pace of the game, slow it down where they can, and they will look at this long ball now. I think you'll find as this game goes on, they will be looking longer. I think that'll be the challenge for Mitch, to try and get the message on the pitch. Say, look, try and get the ball down and do it. But I just have a word about Dan Cooper. In the last 10 minutes, his name has been mentioned so many times. Dan Cooper, I think, not last season, season before, sort of won all the accolades in the club. Manager's player, players player. Last season, when he got to the end of last season, said, I'm not quite sure if I can do it this next level, Gaff. And I think it was said, look, come and play, and he's done it, but he's succeeding. This afternoon, he's been so solid in this right hand side. A superb player again, been here since the beginning of Mitch Austin's reign at the club, and doing his worth out here this afternoon in the FA Cup first round.
Harborough, long free kick from inside their own box, launched towards Robinson in the box. It comes down to Malone, effort left-footed from the edge of the box, and I tell you what, wasn't a bad effort, decent connection, but collected comfortably by Rowley, and Tonbridge taking no time to come forward here through Vincent, left-hand side. He lays it off to Shields, cuts back onto his right foot, inside to Hansen. He then looks to switch the play, but again it's an aimless pass, and that's going to roll through to Elliot Taylor in the Harborough goal. He's going to take his time here before picking it up. Leighton putting him under pressure, and Taylor, the man in goal for Harborough, picking it up, and as we mentioned before, he's going to take all the time he can. We're about 20 minutes from the end of this one. Don't go anywhere. Tonbridge 0, Harborough 2.
Ben Stevens, they're racing 25-30 yards back across the Bix to trap back his man. Jack, over to you.
Well, Robinson picked up the ball from a header from Riley O'Sullivan, unable to get on the end of it. And would you be looking, if you're Mitch Austin, Andy, are you looking to make a change just to shore things up, or are you sticking with the lads that have already got them this lead?
I think for the moment, if you look around, they've still got legs in them. There's no one showing real signs of fatigue. I think under the 10 minutes or so, as you start getting to those final kind of 10-15 minutes, it'll be difficult, and I don't want to curse it, but just an attack coming in. I'll come back to me in a sec.
Wagstaff for Tonbridge. Crosses the ball, it's headed away by Malone though. Can Harborough get it clear? No. Hines picks it up, right hand side, corner of the box, goes into Bakran, who looks like he might have an effort. He doesn't. He chooses to lay it off, this time to Shields. White boots, cuts back in, onto his right foot, onto his left, cuts inside, outside, then lays it off to Hines. Will he have a shot left footed? It's blocked well, and then Ben Stevens can clear once again over the halfway line. Riley O'Sullivan chasing on the end of it, and he's picked this up here. He's nicked it off the defender. He takes his time though. Can he find company? He does. It's Ben Stevens. He's in here. Can he make it 3? Ben Stevens for Harborough. It's 3-0, and you would think that has to be it for Harborough Town in the FA Cup. It was brilliant hold-up play from Riley O'Sullivan. He nicked the ball off the defender fielding. He cut in. He took his time. He saw the run of Ben Stevens, laid it off, and calm as you like, once again Stevens hurls it towards the keeper, who got a touch on it but cannot stop it rolling over the line. It is Tonbridge 0, Harborough Town 3.
We're in dreamland. It's clinical, Jack. We've had 2 chances this half, scored them both. Riley O'Sullivan there, that is the number 9 centre forward has been brought in to do this afternoon. Wins the ball against the defender, holds it up with enough time. Ben Stevens, we just said he's made a 35-yard run across the pitch to come back and defend. He's made a similar run coming back across the pitch the other way then. Got on the outside, beat the defender, and almost a carbon copy of the second goal. Keeper got a touch on this time, and the ball just bounces into the net in front of the ecstatic Harborough fans over on that side. And we were talking about subs, Jack. I think Freddie Robinson's going to be coming off here.
I think it's actually Tonbridge who are making the change. They're bringing on a winger for a defender. Dabre, wearing the number 7 shirt, is coming on for Nazir Bakran.
I think, Jack, also Freddie's not going to continue here. Freddie Robinson's down. We were just talking about whether he's going to make subs, but I can see that they've signalled to the bench there's going to be a sub made. So looks like Harborough making a sub here, and we'll see who they're going to bring on in his place.
Yeah, Freddie Robinson down, the big man for Harborough Town. Just remind you, Leicester City currently 1-0 down against Ipswich. Elsewhere in the Premier League, Liverpool leading Brighton by 2-1. Bournemouth, by the way, 2-0 up against Manchester City. Evan Nilsson adding the second in the second half there. Forest as well beating West Ham 2-0. It's currently Southampton 0, Everton 0, and Newcastle beating Arsenal in the early kick-off as well. Here at the Halcyon Wealth Longmead Stadium, as Andy Sparrow next to me holds 3 fingers in the air. It is Tonbridge 0, Harborough 3. The last Leicestershire team we think to reach the second round, I was there, was Hinckley United back in 2004. If I'm thinking right, that was when they beat Torquay in round 1. Neil Cartwright with an absolute worldie. They then were in the draw for the third round because they drew against then League One Brentford, of course now in the Premier League. If my memory serves me right, as a young Hinckley United fan back in the day.
I think, Jack, the substitutions of Freddie Robinson's come off, and it looks like Dan Forbes has come on. So similar, real energetic player in the middle of that pitch who's going to run and run and run and run. Maybe not as physical as Freddie, but as I say, as we go into this final sort of period of the game, his legs will be key as we sort of try and keep. I think it'll be a clean sheet. That's the aim now. The side will want to keep a clean sheet going into this final 20 minutes.
So you think Forbes will go into the middle where it looks like he has, rather than his usual right wing back position?
He's normally quite a pacey winger, but it looks like he's going to drop him in the middle. He also can play up front, so he's natural playing central, so we'll just see. They might switch it around with some of the front men.
Tonbridge with a good bit of play on the edge of Harborough's box. Shields into the box now, but his effort is blocked by Morris. Comes back out to Hines. Shields once again, all energy for Tonbridge, whips across towards the far post. It's headed away though by Dan Cooper. Will it go out for a corner? No, it's kept in by the Tonbridge man, and then cleared once again by, I think, Forbes. It is going to be a very tense, well, I'd say a very tense finish, Andy Sparrow. They are 3-0 up, but we have approximately 15 minutes left of this one. What they won't want is to concede a goal now that suddenly puts the pressure on, as there's a little bit of argy-bargy down in that far corner away from us. Can't quite see who was involved, but a free kick was given Tonbridge's way, and then you immediately saw the referee running over. So clearly a couple of players not happy with each other. I think it's Ben Stevens, the Harborough lad, involved, but you would think Mitch Austin would just be saying to him, don't get involved, you're 3-0 up, remain calm, and just see this one out. 15 minutes left to play here at the Longmead Stadium. It's Tonbridge 0, Harborough 3.
We've not done it the last couple of games. We've struggled a little bit with being clinical, and I think we just said it. There's 2 or 3 chances this game, and we've scored all 3 of them. That's been the difference this afternoon. Tonbridge have had far more chances than us in this game. Missed headers, corners, and as I say, this second half, 2 chances, 2 goals, and that's the difference. That's all it's been this afternoon. They've made no mistakes so far and scored the chances when they've had them.
It's going to be a Tonbridge free kick right down towards the corner, 5 or 10 yards or so outside of the penalty area, but right on the byline. It's going to be Shields to whip it into the Harborough box, and you would think if Tonbridge are going to do anything, they're going to need to do it very soon with the score at 3-0 to Harborough. Shields steps up to the ball, goes back, and one arm in the air, whips it towards the near post. It's headed on well by a Harborough man, and it will go out for a corner to Tonbridge on that far side. 3-0.
Important. If they're going to, will they do something different here? The ball into the box hasn't worked from these corners, so take it short, do something different, but they're not going to try it, and let's see if we can see Morris getting this out.
They take it quickly, this corner. It's flat, it's low, it's headed down well by a Tonbridge man. It's a scrap in the penalty area, but it eventually bundles out for another corner as the Harborough man looks to clear. Another warning for Harborough. It's their 9th corner of the game now, Tonbridge Angels, and as this clock ticks towards 90, we're 13 minutes or so away from that. It remains 3-0, but it's another corner, another opportunity for Tonbridge Angels. It's taken by Shields. It's drifting towards the back post. It's headed by Cooper. Falls, though, to the number 17. And his effort is very high, very wide, and the Harborough players and staff will not mind that one bit.
Funnily enough, Elliot Taylor's not in a rush to find that ball, Jack. He seems to be quite happy just to wait for the ball boys here to roll it in, and what's left on that clock? not that I'm watching it at all.
There is about, I think, 13 minutes or so, 12 and a half, 13 minutes remain as Elliot Taylor goes long with the goal kick in front of the Rob Steele stand, and O'Sullivan does really well to head that on. It's unfortunate that there's not another run to get on the end of it. Ben Stevens, you would think, would be desperate to get his hat-trick, and it looks like
Tendai Dare is going to be coming on in a second, maybe for O'Sullivan, just to be that target man in this last 15 minutes.
Yeah, he's got pace, hasn't he, Tendai Dare? Potentially one on the counter-attack as Hines comes down the right-hand side. It's a lovely ball into the box for Tonbridge, which Elliot Taylor gets his hands onto under pressure from the Tonbridge man, and the referee blows for a free kick to Harborough. And there's concern here from a couple of the Harborough players, Ben Williams in particular, waving his arms, wanting the physio to come on. It looks like it's a knock to the head for Elliot Taylor, the Harborough keeper, but it was brave goalkeeping to get in, get his hands on the ball, and the referee deemed that the attacker had bumped into him illegally, and once again Harborough Town survived. 3-0 they lead.
Elliot Taylor there in the middle of a Tonbridge sandwich. I think 2 players came together and just, I think, closed the gap between him. Taylor gets his hand to the ball, and I think he was impeded. I think the fans behind the goal aren't very happy, but I think it's the other way around. They'll be screaming for a free kick too. I think Els is okay here. I'm gonna having watched some of the Tamworth game last night and Jazz Singh, I think hopefully this will be just eking out those minutes a little bit more as it goes down. But it looks like, I think it's just Tendai going to be coming on in a second. This hopefully won't make an impact on the Taylor injury, but it will just change the game. Tendai's got some pace, but his main asset is his strength, his physical attributes high, and sort of getting his head on that ball. So as they do start to look a little bit longer, he'll be that focal point they can aim for.
It's Ben Stevens that has gone off. He'll be absolutely gutted, the lad, not to be able to go on and get his hat-trick, but
what a shift though. Just been his legs. I'd love to see his stats on the coverage of this game. He's been all over this pitch, sort of attacking, defending. So yeah, 2 bags of brace in the first round of the FA Cup. What a performance.
Goal scorer of the penalty in the 4th qualifying round that saw them into the first round for the very first time, and now the scorer of 2 goals that gives them a 3-0 lead against Tonbridge Angels in the first round. Elliot Taylor up.
Do you mind me, Jack, as well at this point? He's just the physio there. The Harbour's regular physio, Grace Westbury, can't make it today, and she's such an integral part of this backroom staff at Harborough. So, Grace, I know you'll be listening to this, and I wish you were here seeing the boys do this, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be seeing you very soon.
Voice there of Andy Sparrow, volunteer, big member of what Harborough Town do. He's desperately asking me not to talk him up, but the work that he does, that everybody does at Harborough Town, and in fact non-league clubs across the county, is fantastic. And this is a day and celebrations that so many people deserve, not just the players on the pitch, not just the manager, but everybody that gives their time and effort to do what they do at Harborough Town. As Cooper takes a throw in down the right hand side towards Tendai Dare. It's headed on though by Vincent, and Harborough now come back with Dare. He can't quite get the ball under control, and it's loose towards Hines, the right back for Tonbridge, who look like they've changed shape. It looks like it might be a back four now, as O'Sullivan looks to put pressure on the defender coming away with the ball. He does really well actually to get away from both O'Sullivan and Tendai Dare, but Harborough trying to put the pressure on here, trying to stop Tonbridge from creating anything of note. As Shields puts in from the left hand side, it's Robinson now who's under pressure, but he brings it inside to Wagstaff, then out to Hines, the right wing back, cuts inside. Will he have an effort on goal? No. He goes out to Dabre, who cuts inside onto his left foot. Will he have an effort? He does, but it's saved comfortably by Elliot Taylor. Collects the ball really well, and once again he'll dive on that and take his time in order to allow a few more minutes as we go past the 80-minute mark here at the Longmead Stadium, and it remains 3-0 to Harborough.
Quite in the crowd. I think the second goal did it, and the third goal was. I haven't had that drum beat in about 15 minutes, Jack. It seems to be teams we play with a drum. It seems to we do well against, and it goes quiet. But it's a great header by Tendai Dare. That's
brilliant
what
header from Tendai Dare to head it onto O'Sullivan, who has spent all day running today. He's beaten to the ball though by fielding that time as Tonbridge look to go long as they go forward. Wagstaff comes in. He's gone down. There was no touch whatsoever from Ben Starkey, and the referee duly ignores it and gives a throw in to Harborough, which, as you would imagine, they'll take their time. Wagstaff, big beard, captain's armband, giving the referee a right earful, but it wasn't a foul. so I don't really know why he is. As Harborough have a throw in, halfway line, right hand side, Dan Cooper looking to go down the line this one, maybe out of his range to get it to the penalty area from there. It does go down the line, headed away though by the Tonbridge man as Harborough look to keep them in a corner. They can't though as Tonbridge come forward once again. It's Robinson, goes out wide to Tarek Hines. He brings it over the halfway line, out wide once again to Mo Dabre, number 7 on his back. Tackled really well by Josh Walsh, but Dabre able to collect it once again, but can only go back to his centre-back, who will then look to recycle and rebuild. Wagstaff now, middle of the park for Tonbridge, out to Hines on the right-hand side. Tackled once again by Josh Walsh, and then fouls Josh Walsh, and Harborough win themselves another free kick in a left-back position, and they will happily do that all day. That's exactly what they want for what the remaining 6 or 7 minutes of this game. It's Tonbridge 0, Harborough 3.
Josh Walsh, super. One tackle wins it, straight back up again. Second tackle wins it, wins the free kick. So he's been doing that all game at left back. He had a bit of a say since that first half when he was battling against the Tonbridge right back who was actually taken off at half time. He's just been superb this second half. Been able to come in infield a bit more as well with some runs forward, but that ekes another 20-30 seconds off that clock as Taylor clears it long upfield.
Taylor does clear it long. You're listening to BBC Radio Leicester Sport. Can O'Sullivan get on the end of that? No. The keeper Rowley out and collects it well. BBC Radio Leicester Sport, live FA Cup action on DAB and BBC Sounds. If you want the football, that's on 104.9 FM as Tendai Dare makes a brilliant challenge inside the Tonbridge half. Can he go into the corner? He's fouled, and that is brilliant hold-up striker play from Tendai Dare to eke out a few more seconds for Harborough Town. Hug from Connor Kennedy. And Harborough Town know they're getting closer and closer to dreamland as Tendai Dare wins that free kick, and nobody rushing to come over and take this for Harborough Town.
We spoke about it pre-game about the physicality, Jack. It's not just at set pieces. You've seen it there in open play. Tendai Dare with the strength to hold off the man and draw the foul. Riley O'Sullivan been doing that all game. Great play by Tendai Dare, and it's a free kick in a great position. Interesting this time. There's a lot of players stretching, Jack, on the left of me, just trying to get rid of cramp. I think Ben Starkey and Ben Williams just trying to get some stretches in, but short in front of us.
Riley O'Sullivan takes it between himself and Connor Kennedy. Wagstaff over, the captain for Tonbridge. He's got you have to say, a bit of a bee in his bonnet as the bearded central midfielder.
House.
I've done it again. I'm sorry. I'm so good at this. as Tonbridge look to come forward. It's headed on by a Harborough man, but Hines will pick it up in the centre of the park in his own half for Tonbridge. They go out towards the right hand side to look to build again through Mo Dabre, but once again Josh Walsh in with the interception to stop the attack down the right hand side. Dabre comes back though to collect the diminutive winger out to his partner on that side now, Tariq Hines, who looks to go past Josh Walsh this time, does, but has to cut back as Walsh gets back into the position. Cross into the box now for Tonbridge. It falls at the edge of the box and the Tonbridge player is pulled up here. Riley O'Sullivan able to come away with it, crosses the halfway line, goes past the defender number 4. Can he create something else here? Well, O'Sullivan, he's got Kennedy for company. Will he have an effort here? He does, and it's in!
It's Forbes, it's Dan Forbes!
And Harborough Town are in absolute dreamland. It's brilliant hold-up play once again from Riley O'Sullivan. It's a carbon copy of the setup for the third goal. He lays it off to the substitute Dan Forbes, but he fires it past the goalkeeper Matthew Rowley. And in the first round of the FA Cup, you are not dreaming, Harborough Town fans. It is Tonbridge 0, Harborough 4.
Jack, pinch me, punch me, do something. What is going on? It's Riley O'Sullivan again. Holds that ball up. He comes out from the back, and I think the Tonbridge players have given up. They stop running. He beats 2 players, and you've got Riley O'Sullivan releases Dan Forbes, overlapping on the outside. The fresh legs just come on 10 minutes ago. He's a right footer, but on his left foot scores low past the keeper, makes it 4-0. He's not scored a left-footed goal in 2 years, Jack, but he scores it to make it 4. The Harborough fans, Paul Malone, they're making... this is amazing.
0-0 against Darlaston in the first qualifying round. They won 3-2 away in the replay. 4-2 against Stourbridge in the second qualifying round. 1-0 at home to Leamington in the third, and 1-0 at home against Bury in the fourth qualifying round to reach this first round. Harborough Town are heading to the second round of the FA Cup for the very first time. They lead Tonbridge Angels by 4-0. What a performance, as the Harborough fans sing Can We Play You every week. Tonbridge coming forward now to look to get on the score sheet. It would only ever be a consolation as Tendai Dare once again wins a free kick inside the Harborough half. There was just a few minutes left of this one. I cannot believe what I'm seeing, Andy Sparrow.
I can't either, but as good as this has been, knowing Mitch, knowing the staff, if they don't keep this clean sheet, they'll be really disappointed. It's been such a great performance, and there's just a bit of handbags in the middle of the pitch here, Jack, between Riley O'Sullivan and their defender. Seem to be... No, hold on, I thought it was going to escalate there, but they'll want this clean sheet. They'll want to finish the performance off in the right way. I can talk now with 4 minutes to go that this is probably going to go the way we want it to go, but to keep this clean sheet now, we'll just cap off this performance and give everyone here the clean sheet, especially Elliot Taylor, he deserves.
Elliot Taylor, the man to take the free kick long from inside the Harborough half. It goes towards Forbes, the scorer of the fourth goal. Tendai Dare gets up, gets his head on it, and Forbes over. He can't keep it in. It'll go out for a Tonbridge throw in just down in front of us, and they are hurrying to try and get a move on, but it's going to take an absolute miracle now for Tonbridge to come back into this one. Harborough Town leading by 4-0 in the first round of the FA Cup. The Bees are in absolute dreamland as the ball goes over to Leighton, but he's unable to collect, and Elliot Taylor out from his goal, sliding in, collects the ball, and once again he will take his time before, you assume, sending this long high into the dark Tonbridge sky.
Beautiful evening for football, Jack.
It's the Harborough fans you can hear, although I probably shouldn't turn it up while they're singing certain songs. Apologies if you did get a glimpse of
showing their admiration for the Tonbridge performance there.
The lyrics from Harborough Town. 4-0 Harborough lead. If you're looking for Leicester City, by the way, they're on 104.9 FM. They're 1-0 down against Ipswich. The moment is here. The story of Leicestershire football is here down in Kent this afternoon. Harborough Town are heading to the second round for the very first time. They will be the first team making their maiden performance in the first round to reach the second round as well since Kings Lynn in 2020. And Mitch Austin choosing to make some changes here, a triple change in fact, as Harborough look to secure victory and see this out.
It looks like so it's going to be Kai Tong, Amar Sandhu and Gary Mulligan coming on. Just going to see who's going to make way.
Yeah, Kai Tong, I think that was for Ben Starkey. Riley O'Sullivan also making way. Huge applause for Riley O'Sullivan, 2 assists for him. Brilliant contribution for the 3rd and 4th goals.
Connor Kennedy as well, I think, coming off there, Jack.
Connor Kennedy. For Sandu. And number 17, Gary Mulligan.
6 added minutes, Jack.
6 added minutes. Harborough Town are so close to FA Cup glories. A brilliant free kick comes in for Tonbridge. It was headed down, I think, by Robinson, but blocked on the line by Harborough, and they're able to clear. Another cross into the box, though, this time headed away, and it's another effort from Tonbridge. It's bubbling around in the penalty area, and what a save that is from Elliot Taylor. What a brilliant save. It was bobbling about in the penalty area. Vincent, I think it was, for Tonbridge, able to get a left-footed effort on it. Taylor diving to his right, somehow able to palm it over the top of the goal. It lands on the roof of the net. That is a superb save from Elliot Taylor, and it remains 1 minute into injury time, 4-0.
I can say this, Jack. When you watch the highlights tomorrow, anyone listening to this, make sure you watch this save. How he's got the ball over the bar. He saved the ball down at probably knee level near the post, and he's managed to scoop the ball over the bar onto the roof of the net. What an incredible save by Elliot Taylor. He is down receiving treatment at the moment, but that shows the desire of the team to keep that clean sheet. But that was an unbelievable save.
Well, we've got a break in play, Andy. Who's your man of the match for Harborough today?
Thanks for springing that on me, Jack. That's superb. I think you look all over that pitch, and I think it'd be cliche to say to me that they've all done superbly. I think just on the goals, it's got to be Ben Stevens. Clinical, part of the play, his work effort, his work rate, tracking back and forward. Mitch might take a different view on it. You've got people like Riley O'Sullivan that have held the ball up so well. You've got Paul Malone and the guys at the back, but just those 2 goals, the time they came in the second half as well, was so critical to giving Harborough the upper hand here and sort of making this last 20 minutes a lot easier than it could have been.
Ben Stevens, your BBC Radio Leicester man of the match, given by Andy Sparrow, as Tonbridge look to put this corner into the Harborough penalty area, looking for what would be, you would think, a consolation goal. And it's going to come in swinger, right footed. It's towards the back post. It's headed on by, I think, a Tonbridge man, but towards the corner. And the Harborough, he's tried to keep that, he's tried to let that roll out. It was going nowhere near. Tonbridge kept it in, and thankfully the cross into the box didn't threaten. But they've got another effort here as they come inside. Shields into the box, cuts onto his right foot, effort towards goal, and it's headed away brilliantly by, I think, Tendai Dare back in his own penalty area. And can Harborough get another one on the break here? Down the wing towards Forbes. No, but they've won themselves a throw-in on the halfway line, and we are 2.5 minutes into the 6 added on. It remains Tonbridge 0, Harborough 4.
See the desire there of the boys in yellow there, just to keep that clean sheet. Everyone working so hard. Bodies being thrown in front of that ball. Tendai Dare defending valiantly in front, clearing that, and Harborough going to come up the pitch now with a throw-in.
Josh Walsh down the line to Tendai Dare, nods it on to Kai Tong, but he's unable to keep the ball, and now Tonbridge will look to come forward once again down the left-hand side. Vincent, their top scorer this season, has been kept very quiet today. That'll be something Mitch Austin and Harborough will be very pleased about. He's barely had a sniff as the left wing back, as Tonbridge look to come forward now through down the right-hand side. Tarek Hines does really well, actually, onto Mo Dabre. He brings it out to Shields. He's been the threat for Tonbridge today when they have had some. Cuts inside right, left-hand side, right foot. Will he have an effort towards goal? He does, and it's in the bottom corner. It took a little deflection, I think, on the way through. It's a nice effort from Sean Shields. Harborough will be disappointed to lose the clean sheet, but it will just be a consolation goal for the home side. It's Tonbridge 1, Harborough 4.
Neat finish there, real poster champions at the bottom corner there. You can see Elliot Taylor how unhappy he is to concede that, and I suppose it just shows you the perfectionists in the side just trying to keep that clean sheet. But as you say, nothing more than a consolation. And well, what we got? 2 minutes left to go, Jack.
Might be slightly more than that, given Elliot Taylor went down at the start of injury time, but it would take some sort of horrendous collapse or miracle, depending on how you look at it, for this not to result in Harborough being in the hat. On Sunday evening, when the draw takes place, Harborough Town ball number 38, I believe I saw earlier on. The draw, of course, will take place on the BBC, and there's more FA Cup games to come across the weekend. Of course, that huge game for Northampton and Ketter in that Northamptonshire derby. I know Harborough would have loved to have got a trip to Cobblers in this round. Could it come in the second round?
Wait and see, Jack. Wait and see. But even just to say that is incredible. They're down the other end of the pitch again, though. So let's not concede a second. Let's keep it tight.
I make it about 5 of the 6 played in injury time as Vincent looks to get another ball over. He doesn't. He chooses to go back to Shields once again. The score of the lone Tonbridge goal. He goes towards goal, but this one high above the bar. It hits the Rob Steele stand, bounces down, and Elliot Taylor is going to take an age to take this goal kick. The referee just wandering over to have a word and say, don't take the mick, mate, but just get ready for the eruption of the Harborough fans to our right hand side when the full-time whistle goes. I make it about 30 seconds left. There might be slightly more given Elliot Taylor went down. But that is it! Harborough Town are into the second round of the FA Cup. They reached this stage for the very first time, creating history with every step they take in this competition. They haven't squeezed through to the second round. They have sauntered into the hat. 4-1 winners at Tonbridge Angels. They got things going just before the half-time break. Paul Malone, a threat from corners as ever. The size difference making all the difference for Harborough, and he got his head on one that couldn't be kept out by the keeper Matthew Rowley, and then second half belonged to Harborough Town. Brilliant goals from Ben Stevens, scoring the second and the third, involving some really good hold-up play from Riley O'Sullivan. Ben Stevens, the man who put them into this stage with his penalty against Bury, scoring 2 cool goals to curl them past the Tonbridge keeper. Then Dan Forbes adding the gloss at the end, a brilliant left-footed error after once again more brilliant hold-up play from Riley O'Sullivan. Shields added a consolation goal for Tonbridge right at the end, but this game, this afternoon, this evening belongs to the Bees and to Harborough Town. They are travelling back up the M1 knowing they will be in the draw for the second round. It is finished. Tonbridge Angels 1, Harborough Town 4. Andy Sparrow, your thoughts?
I guarantee you, Jack, they're not travelling back any time soon. Those fans behind the goal are going loud and proud. The press conference Tuesday evening, we said, get behind the boys, go out there and create your own history, and they have. What a performance. Clinical. Oh, this is superb, watching the players in front of this goal. This is amazing to watch, to be part of this club for so long, and to watch these scenes here in their first round of the FA Cup. So many blood, sweat, tears have gone into get into this level, and watching these celebrations in front of us is something special. It's just a clinical performance, like I said in the commentary, taking the chances when they came to us, and at the right times to make sure in that second half it became a relatively safe second half after the second and third goal went in. But Jack, to watch these scenes in front of us is just incredible. Yeah,
so just to describe them for you, the whole of the Harborough squad, the bench, they have all rushed over to those fans behind the goal to our right, the north stand, and they are partying like mad. There are songs being sung, there are arms being waved, there's kids being thrown in the air as well. Connor Kennedy with, I assume, his lad, somebody's lad, being held up as well. It's brilliant scenes. The Tonbridge fans emptying out. This evening belongs to Harborough Town. Mitch Austin away from the celebrations, just taking a moment of reflection on the edge of the penalty area to really soak it all in. And I mean, he celebrated 4 years at the club this week, Andy Sparrow. It couldn't feel much better than that. Excuse me, come here and say that. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Siobhan, Chair of Trustees at Harborough Town, and I can't believe it! Oh my God!
Chair of Trustees for Harborough Town, if you didn't quite get that introduction. I mean, Andy, you know, we're going to hear from the players. We're going to talk to the players. We're going to talk to Mitch. We're seeing their celebrations, but for people like Siobhan there, for people like yourself, for Jane, of course, down here as well, Chris, who does the media, so many brilliant volunteers at the club. What does this mean?
got to find words for this now, haven't I? I've just watched us win 4-0.
I hate to take the gloss off it. It was 4-1, mate.
4-1. Sorry, I lost track of that. I think the last 6 minutes was a blur, to be honest. It means so much. The players have worked so hard, and I think when the draw came out, we'll go back to that draw that happened. Everyone sat there, was disappointed at the draw to begin with, but as you came round to it, and this was the belief today that the players came here. We saw the attitude on the coach pre-game, we saw the videos, the players are relaxed, they believed the manager, they follow the manager, they follow the words he does. It's such a tight-knit group, and you're seeing it now, everyone's celebrating together, and I'm just delighted. I'm delighted for all the players and are able to share in this moment. And as I say, these celebrations are not going to stop here or in an hour. They're going to go long into this night.
We will be back to take in more of the celebrations, but it's still going at Portman Road. Jordan Ayew, by the way, has scored a late equaliser for City. It's still going. It's 1-1. Your commentary team is Matty Fry and Owen Palmer.
Right to Fatawu on this near side, on the right, beats Davis. Delivers towards the back post, heads go up by Soumare towards the back stick. Vardy's there, mindful to fast, and he goes just wide, does it? Still not clear. Ayew right footed over the bar. The referee's given a free kick on the goalkeeper. And for a second, it looked like Leicester may have just found themselves a massive opportunity for a winner. It remains 1-1. Good evening, good afternoon to our DAB listeners joining us from what has been a brilliant win for Harborough Town in the FA Cup first round. Here at Portman Road in the Premier League, it's Leicester who have struck really late to get an equaliser against Ipswich.
I thought that was going to be it as well. Moritz just grasping at thin air. Chance fell to Ayew. I think the ref had already blown. Leicester worked for these chances as well. Showed patience at the right time, and then when it's been on, used the ball well.
Leicester are going to get one final go at this. We're into the 100th minute. Referee Tim Robinson allowing play to continue. Here is Abdul Fatawu. Tries to beat Davis down the outside, goes down, wants a free kick, not given, and it's really silly from Abdul Fatawu. It's not a free kick. He's got the beating of Leif Davis and just tries to buy one in the corner, and that's probably that, Matty Fryer.
Yeah, I think that'll be it. Leicester have kept on going. There, I think he was running out of play and just desperately went over, more in hope, trying to get a free kick. As the touch just got away from him a little bit.
So goal kick by Muric. All eyes on referee Tim Robinson, who blows the full-time whistle. Leicester City snatch a point at Portman Road in the Premier League on match day 10 in the 94th minute, thanks to another late goal away from home from Jordan Ayew. The Foxes went 1-0 down in the 55th thanks to a brilliant strike from Leif Davis on the edge of the 6-yard box on the left-hand side. But after a red card from Calvin Phillips in the 77th, Leicester put their foot on the gas and applied the pressure. It told in the 94th. Soumare with a brilliant run down the left-hand side. Found Ayew, edge of the area, 1-2 with Vardy. And Ayew slid it past goalkeeper Muric for the equaliser. And Leicester go home with another point on the board. 10 points from 10 games in the Premier League. Full time here at Portman Road. Ipswich Town 1, Leicester City 1.